This is WWE Hall of Famer Tito Santana, and you are listening to WNS Podcast. Arriba!
You are now tuned in to the WNS Podcast. For all of your wrestling info, go to WrestlingNewsSource.com or check us out on Facebook by searching WrestlingNewsSource.com or WNS Podcast. You can also find us on YouTube, Twitter, Stitcher, and iTunes by searching Wrestling News Source Podcast or WNS Podcast. Now being broadcast in over 45 countries, here are your hosts, Daniel Herron, Tyler Abear, and Doug. That's right. What's up, everyone? I am Daniel Herron.
I'm Tyler Abear.
I'm Doug.
And we welcome you to episode 288 of the official podcast for WrestlingNewsSource.com. For all of your information, go to WrestlingNewsSource.com. Check us out on Facebook, WrestlingNewsSource.com. And you can find us on Facebook, WNS Podcast, on YouTube, WNSvideo, and on iTunes, Wrestling News Source Podcast.
It looked like that was hard to get out by the look on your face.
Trying to get through it all.
Yeah, we are on Stitcher, Beyond Pod, Player.fm. Just search Wrestling News Source Podcast to find us.
Yo.
Yes.
You can follow the podcast on Twitter at WNS Podcast. You can follow Daniel at WNS_Daniel, and you can follow Tyler at Tyler_Abear.
That is absolutely 100% correct. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in this week, because we have a lot to cover.
What a fucking week.
We've got feedback. We've got NXT Takeover. We've got SummerSlam. We've got Raw. We've got Smackdown. We've got Hot Topics. We got just about everything that's going on.
We got injuries.
We've got injuries. We've got WWE 2K17. We've got suspensions. We've got just about everything that's going on in the wrestling world we're going to talk about this week.
We got backstage brawls. We got worked shoots or shoot shoots or who knows.
No kidding.
Shoots.
So we'll make sure to cover it all. So how you guys doing?
Doing all right.
Yeah?
My focus, as I've been talking about.
Yes, you have.
2K17.
Oh, you've been covering it quite a lot.
Oh my gosh. I was telling him before we started the show, I've already counted like the people who've been to TNA that's on the roster. Even people that's made appearance in TNA, I count like 17 people they've already announced. So you can make a TNA roster in the game.
Should be pretty interesting. Doug, how are you?
A little tired, but I mean, man, what a fucking week. I don't know.
Lot to cover.
Yeah, it was, I don't know if wrestling just got busy all of a sudden or it's just this week. I guess we'll find out. But I don't know. There are already like heavy like rumors of like more suspensions that are looming that just haven't dropped yet.
Ooh.
So by the time people are listening to this, it's probably already dropped at that time. So we don't know
Is it
yet.
bad? Like in my head, I'm like juicy. I can't wait to see who's getting suspended next.
I'm kind of like wondering what's gonna drop.
Because the bad part is if it's someone like I truly like and like, oh shit, that sucks. You know,
there are very few. There are like a handful of people that would surprise me enough to change my opinion of them. But at this point, I just feel
anyone's pretty much fair game.
Yeah, I think anyone's fair game.
Now, I know last week we covered Paige and Del Rio. Did we cover Eva Marie, or did that drop after we recorded?
That dropped after because she got suspended one day later.
That's correct, because that played into our predictions and all that.
Yeah.
So that kind of threw that one out. I haven't updated our ratings or our correct picks so far because I wanted to get with you guys and clarify on the rules before I went in and adjusted it ourselves. Okay, so I'm throwing out the 6 women's match because one of the competitors was taken out.
Well, I think we were. I don't think it matters if you throw it out or not because we all had the same pick. So whatever you decide to do, it's like it didn't change because no one like gained any standing on it.
For the tag team match for the titles, ended in a disqualification. So technically, Gallows and Anderson were the winners, but New Day retained. So do we go with winner or do we go with who retained?
I mean, I guess I guess you guys should get it just on the fact that they won the match. I don't think that predictions are necessarily like dependent upon.
Well, I think we should go with the winner. Really.
Well, that's what I just said. I mean, like you guys had Guns and Gallows, so I mean, I think I'm the only one who picked New Day, but I just thought they were actually going to like retain proper, but
right. Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to get a little clarification on that before
as long as we I
go through and
as long as we like have a stance and stick with it through, then it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I wanted to set those
things in order.
Speaking of suspensions, Brock Lesnar, UFC.
Brock Lesnar, yeah, he got a hammer dropped on him earlier. Was it today or yesterday? One of these days, sometime this week.
Yes.
And so he's been suspended, but supposedly it might not be too long.
Yeah, it's like him.
He doesn't care.
Yeah, he doesn't care.
He doesn't give a shit about your kids.
WWE is not going to do anything to him.
Yeah.
Not even that.
$500 fine. There you go.
Because it's pretty much.
Well, he didn't get suspended by WWE. He got suspended by.
Yeah,
USADA.
Whatevs.
Well, USADA is like the governing body. They're not the people serving the suspension or whatever. But
yeah. So.
Yeah. So there's more on the horizon then, huh?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, there's like rumors that there are more suspensions coming this week, and
more.
I think people expected them to drop already. Well, I mean, I guess Orton's a big one, but like, wait, did they not announce Orton? I thought Orton. That's why they. I thought Orton was coming. Maybe did I read something and that I got worked on? I don't know.
I gotta look that up. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, clearly that's not credible. Whatever I saw.
Or at least they haven't. I have not seen that announcement. That's not to say it hasn't. Something like that has not been.
I saw like Orton 60 days for a second offense somewhere.
Damn.
I want to say I saw that. Okay, on Facebook or something.
I mean, hopefully I wasn't like scanning like kayfabe news or something.
What I think it was is okay. Sometimes on the mobile app, you will see an article about something else, and then right below it, there's other articles, but it's sometimes past articles. I don't know if it's something like that.
I may just have seen someone speculating that he was going to drop, because I know there was that whole talk of him attending rehab while he was out injured or whatever. Yeah. So that was the thing. Because that's what really made me go, whenever I read whatever the fuck I read that apparently doesn't exist.
Things that make you go,
I was like, oh, that's interesting, because he was just at rehab while he was out. But apparently I'm just pulling shit out of my ass. Clearly there's no like credibility to what I just said.
Weird. Whenever, going back to Eva Marie, when I saw that, I was like, damn. We made the joke. What was that joke that you made? Her theme?
The seductive. The sensational, the suspended, Eva Marie.
Yeah. So they're looking right now and see if the Orton thing is legit.
Well, there's something here on. Oh, that's the old logo. So I don't know if you can take that into account.
Wonder if someone reposts that and they're trying to get buzz going or something.
Probably.
Who knows?
I mean, clearly disregard what I said. I obviously got something wrong.
Okay, so I think we talked about this last week. So what did Paige and Del Rio get suspended for?
Okay, so I don't know if it was, I don't remember what show it was I was listening to, but Meltzer said he doesn't know what they got popped for, but they failed for different reasons. So it's not like they were like partying together and then like...
It wasn't wellness policy.
Needles were not being shared, so that's good to know.
Yeah, I mean, whatever she failed for is not the same thing he failed for.
Oh.
And Eva Marie failed for Adderall.
Which, I will give her credit. She owned up to that. She was like, look.
That was a little bit of damage control because her husband was like... like doing some like real like stupid stuff that probably got her a lot of heat. So she had to come out. Doing? He was...
This is bull and blah, blah, blah.
He was talking way out of school like he shouldn't have been, and he should have let her handle her business.
Yeah, but she's like, shut the fuck up. I'm going to get more heat because of your mouth.
I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah, well, her debut will be pushed back.
Yeah. She had to vacation for a while due to stress. She's stressed out.
Well, hopefully.
I actually thought that was like hilarious when they did that. I was like, right on.
Hopefully this doesn't hurt her. I mean, debuting and stuff because...
Nah. It won't.
I don't know.
But before we dive into everything that happened, as well as the feedback and the special address that we have to do, I will say thank you. I want to send a thank you out to Curtis and all of the staff at Hurricane Pro for allowing me to step up to the commentary table and do color commentary. Very interesting experience.
You want to talk about your experience?
It was unusual. It was sort of a last-minute thing. I got approached and said, "Hey, we need a favor. The guy who normally does our commentary is unfortunately going to be in Houston. Can you fill in?" And I said, "Yeah, sure. I'll give it a shot." And I want to say that it went well, but we'll find out once it gets released on YouTube. And once it does, I'll check it out first and decide if I want to post it on the Facebook page or not.
So much shit has happened this week that I completely forgot that you did that until you just reminded me.
Yeah, it was and like you said, there's been so much going on. I had to remind myself, like, oh yeah, that was this past weekend.
Right.
Like, I missed NXT Takeover live so that I could do that, and then I went home and watched it, and man, what a show! But before we dive into that,
did you commentate over the house mics?
No. It was they're wanting to do like
they have
their
done
own.
that in the past, and it's kind of weird.
Yeah, and they asked me to do that once, and I froze up, and I was like, I have nothing to say. But now I did a little bit better job, I think. Covered all the matches. They were
on YouTube.
Yes, they filmed 3 episodes, so I will be covering all of them with Jim. So,
So since when have they had a YouTube show?
They just released episode 1 this past week. Episode 2 is probably coming out sometime this coming week, and then following. So mine would be, I believe, 4, 5, and 6 episode. So we'll see. We'll see how it comes out. But big news in the world of wrestling news source. They celebrated 10 years of WNS being in existence over the past week. And so we got a letter from Ben asking us to read it out to the listeners and the fans of Wrestling News Source, and he asked me to do it in a silly voice or whatever, said that I had free range to do whatever I want. So with that being said, I'm going to do it in a normal voice just to throw him off. So here is Ben's address to 10 years of WNS. It says, "Hello, WNS podcast listeners. Ben here, WNS director. It's becoming somewhat of a running joke that I release written statements to the crew to read out on air. Well, why break with tradition? So here goes. Again, disclaimer, the voice Daniel is currently reading in was not approved by me. WrestlingNewsSource.com celebrated our 10th year online just this past Monday, and I want to thank you for tuning in to the WNS podcast each and every week. 10 years is a big achievement. We have come a long way from our wrestling-radio.com days. MySpace was actually a big deal back then. Daniel, Doug, Tyler, and even Ryan really do make this a great listening experience for all of our fans. They are special friends who have brought much joy to my life. Inviting the WNS podcast crew to join WNS over 5 years ago was one of the greatest achievements of WNS. I thank the crew for all they do. I encourage all those listening to head over to WrestlingNewsSource.com to check out our celebratory column written by our longest-serving staff member, Kaylin Knox. Again, thank you for your support. Ben Karen, WNS Director." So, congratulations on 10 years, Ben.
Congrats.
And Ben's been on 2 episodes.
Yes. Feel free to come down to Texas and be on more.
Yes.
British bastard. So, yeah.
Ouch.
Now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about some feedback that we got. First bit of feedback we had is from Seth
Rickson,
that is correct, saying, "Great show. I think the saturation point has been reached."
I love that Tyler is confused / intrigued by like a Seth Rickson comment. Like,
Really?
he's like, oh.
Rickson. Hey man, I haven't heard from him in a while, and plus I like his comments.
Should have seen it.
It's hilarious.
He's pretty serious though.
Yeah.
Oh, is it serious?
This is
Okay.
a somewhat serious comment, saying, "Great show. I think the saturation point has been reached. Your podcast and a few others make it a lot easier to know what I should watch from WWE. I usually only watch live whenever I want to see something different or perhaps a pay-per-view cliffhanger. I watch more Lucha Underground or New Japan Pro Wrestling than WWE or TNA. I cannot justify watching even half of what they put on each week when you consider the quality of matches and stories they tell." That's a fair critique.
Yeah, and I know, like we said in the past, like I just haven't kept up with TNA, so I don't know what's going on. I'll check in here and there. With
Bobby Lashley's running the show.
Yeah, I saw that. I'll watch YouTube videos of what's going on over there.
Yeah. But thank you so much for the feedback.
No Kali.
No Kali this week.
Damn.
That's how you know it's serious.
Yeah.
Next bit of feedback we have is from Ace McSpade saying, I watch too much wrestling and most of it is WWE, Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and specials like the Cruiserweight Classic. However, I've been watching WCPW since it started and enjoy it. You were talking about what culture this past week, so it seems appropriate to mention their new wrestling fed. Love the podcast. Love the podcast, guys. Yes. Padcast. Thanks. So thank you, Ace. Appreciate it. And final bit of feedback comes from James saying the brand split is not too good. They could have done better with one brand if the writing would have been better because the Raw main event isn't very good. Zayn should be the guy to win the U.S. title from Rusev. The SmackDown main event isn't good, but the SmackDown main event is good, but their mid-card isn't.
Yeah, I don't think the Zayn is destined for that.
Yeah.
He's
don't destined know for what, more. Greatness.
I don't even know what Zayn is destined for, really.
Destined for greatness.
Is he hurt coming out of the Raw match?
That's one thing that I was wondering.
Was it announced like as an injury?
Nothing had been announced, so I'm thinking it might have been a work.
He could have sold he clearly rolled his ankle in the replay.
Yeah.
But, maybe he just like hammed it up for the... If so,
Bravo.
Yeah, but I guess he's
sold
not hurt.
the hell out of it.
I guess he's not hurt. Shit. Okay, that's what I was gonna say. But
yeah, if that's the case, major kudos to Sami Zayn for pulling that off. Because as soon as it happened, I was like, oh god, not him too. But we'll talk about injuries a little bit later on as we get closer into Raw.
I was gonna say, and Sami Zayn's injured. Just like I was going to say, and Randy Orton is suspended. What the fuck am I reading? I don't know. I'm so busy that I see things like peripherally, and I'm like,
do you just want Randy Orton to be suspended? Do you want Sami Zayn to be injured? Is that what's happening here?
I guess I'm just so not focused on shit that I see something. I'm like, yep, that's what's going on. I don't know.
These motherfuckers are trying to trick me.
I guess I just read any old shit these days.
Man.
What?
You just believe in anything you read these days. If it's on the internet, it must be true.
Right.
What? Brock Lesnar's in the Cruiserweight division.
That's right. He is. So let's talk NXT Takeover. We ran a poll, or I ran a poll on our Twitter feed.
You ran a poll.
So if you're not following us on Twitter at WNS Podcast, you should definitely check it out because every once in a while we'll do a poll to see.
Yeah, I Googled it. He's not hurt.
Oh, good. Awesome. We ran a poll to see which of the major 4 shows that occurred this past weekend for WWE did people enjoy most, whether it be NXT TakeOver, SummerSlam, Raw, or SmackDown, with 45% of the votes going to NXT TakeOver. So at the moment, that is the front runner.
I would pick 2.
41% SmackDown Live. So 7% going to SummerSlam, 7% going to Raw.
I like SmackDown not so live.
Yeah. So let's talk this NXT Takeover. The first matchup, Austin Aries going up against No Way Jose. Did y'all have any expectations going into this matchup? What did you guys think about the matchup?
I expected Jose to get the W.
Yeah.
It really has felt like Austin is there to be an experienced guy for some of the younger guys and less experienced guys to work with and gain some experience. And he has felt like he was just sort of there to put other guys over.
That's what it seems like.
But clearly, they've not only have they talked about this is no longer a developmental brand, they're clearly shifting away from that, and this is their own little fantasy indie Puro fed, which is sort of wild to think about.
Yeah, it really is.
But no, I agree though with I know Austin's getting older, but I remember when he was TNA and ROH, he did crazier stuff, and I know this is a different time.
Toned it down a little bit.
Yeah. But I enjoyed the match though. But this is me being Doug. I read online, I don't know if it's true. I thought that they said Austin got hurt at the end of the match whenever, and that kick that Hideo did to Austin's head, man.
Yeah.
I watched it back. He kicked him.
I feel like we got to edit some sort of disclaimer in post that says we say about 50 untrue things throughout the course of the show.
Warning: everything you hear on the WNS podcast may or may not be true.
He busted his eardrum. Well, if he busted his eardrum, he wouldn't have done a damn promo at the end, or they did .com stuff about, Austin, what do you think about your match? And he's like talking about, if he busts his eardrum, he wouldn't be doing any interview or anything like that.
Right.
So
because he wouldn't be able to hear the questions.
He would be in pain. He wouldn't want to talk.
That too.
So false.
Hey, you never know.
But no, I did enjoy the match though. But I agree with Doug. I thought no way Jose was going to get the.
Plus, it just felt like the story was he gets his revenge for Austin
being attacked.
Yeah.
So he beats Corbin. He beats
No way.
Loses to Shinsuke.
Mm-hmm.
He beats Dillinger.
I'm wondering if, like, okay, so we know that the cruiserweights are coming up to Raw. Are they going to use some of the NXT talent that's there? Are they strictly going to keep it the cruiserweight classic guys? Or is there going to be sort
because
of a
there
mix?
has to be more than those 4 that they said they're coming to Raw.
I mean, I'm sure those are just the 4 first announced.
There wasn't 5?
I thought there was 4. There was Rich.
Mm-hmm.
There was Brian Kendrick. There was Dar.
And Perkins.
Okay, I'm just obviously I don't know. Don't take anything I'm saying to have any validity. Clearly, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
In this podcast, we don't know what the fuck we're talking about.
But do you think they might bring up Austin Aries as like a special attraction kind of thing in the cruiserweight division?
I think he's an NXT guy.
NXT guy. Austin Aries, NXT guy. Bobby Roode, NXT guy. Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
I can see Joe. Coming up. I don't see Austin coming up. I don't see. You know what? I could see Roode coming up, I guess, but for some reason I just don't see with Austin. He feels like he has a role to play in NXT.
Nice. So yeah, Austin Aries gets the win over No Way Jose.
Nose way.
So
then
Hideo Itami comes out.
Very, very stylish.
Yes.
Hideo Itami.
Yeah.
And
delivers with the suit with those. What is this type of shoes?
I don't know.
He wasn't wearing socks.
I heard people talking shit on like his. I guess like they're sort of like high water like pants with the no socks. I thought he looked fly as hell.
No,
I thought he looked fly. I was like, man, I wish I could look that stylish.
Was it me, or did he really kick him in the fucking head? He looked like he kicked him in the fucking head.
They might have made contact.
I don't know. To me,
not the GTS, but like before.
To me, it looked like he like stuttered, like he was going to kick, and they were out of position, and then he pulled back. And then
sometimes I don't see the angle properly, but I saw a replay. I thought he kicked him in the fucking head. I'm like, damn.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's interesting because clearly we're just setting up for like the Itami. Like we're giving Itami someone to beat to put him in title contention. I'm sure we're looking at the Itami Nakamura feud for the belt.
Ooh, that's gonna be cool.
You can't just like shove him back in and be like, he's going for the title.
Sure, you can.
I mean, you can, but I mean,
it makes more sense to have him.
Sure. But yeah, that's where I think it's going, and
nice.
I'm cool with that.
After that, we got to see the debut of Ember Moon going up against Billie Kay.
Okay, so Ember Moon. Okay, I'm not familiar who she is or her name before,
Athena?
But they said that was she part of ROW because they said Booker T.
Yeah, she was there for a brief time.
Oh, okay.
She's wrestled, all over the place.
She's based in Texas at the start of her career, and she sort of branched out from there.
Yeah. It was kind of a short match.
I was actually impressed with Billie Kay.
Yeah, that was one thing I was going to bring up. Like, since they're bringing up all of the ladies from NXT, obviously they're having to make new stars, and Billie Kay is looking like she's going to be one of them that they're trying to make into a big star.
I'm going to be like, maybe I was looking at it differently, but I was like, for a while, and I was like, this is supposed to be debut of Ember Moon, and I'm like focused on Billie Kay more than Ember Moon.
Yeah, I'm digging Billie Kay. I think she's very athletic, very talented, and I'm looking forward to seeing what she has. But Ember Moon did not disappoint. I mean, the matchup, like I said, was kind of short. The finishing maneuver was really nice.
That thing is going to eventually hurt her.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, I mean, I agree with you guys that Billie Kay did look really good, and she seems like someone they're going to need to rely on to sort of bolster the rest of these, like, I'm going to say rookie crop, but they're not necessarily rookies, but you know what I mean, the less experienced girls. So she's going to...
New up-and-comers.
She's an asset, but she was there just to showcase Ember Moon.
Sure.
It's all about her
hitting
the O-face and people popping for that shit. And yeah, I mean, I thought it was a strong debut. I don't know if the gimmick has legs, although it wasn't too shticky. It was more just like
a presentation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see her dropping like the contacts very quickly and stuff.
Yeah. I have to say that stunner that she did or whatever it's gonna go over
she
well.
Called it the O face. I don't know. I doubt she's gonna.
O-face?
I don't think she's gonna call it the O face.
Because that's what it makes the crowd do. Oh.
That's gonna go over well. Like that's gonna have legs on it, just like the Pepsi plunge, as because he has to do land on these. She's gonna land on her tailbone.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, certain moves, I'm like, oh, it's cool.
Well, it's just like a leg drop off the top rope or something,
Still,
elbow from the top rope, landing on your hip. Just comes with the turf. After that, Bobby Roode getting the victory over CN.
I really wasn't too impressed with the match. I mean, it was all right, but I was just into his entrance.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was the glorious bomb that's got me into the music and all that stuff, but I mean, I'm digging the entrance and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those get into your head kind of themes, and then the fact that the crowd was singing along with it too.
Oh my gosh! And what's sad too is they were booing CN.
Well, yeah.
I'm like, why he's not a heel? CN's not a heel. I'm like, I know that you like Bobby Roode, but
well, that's the reason.
Oh man.
The NXT crowd, man, once they pick out someone that they like, that's who they're going with.
This sucks because I don't know. It's like you knew that Bobby Roode was going to get the win. Well, not 100%, but you felt like it was going to happen. But
well, I don't know.
What are you going to do with CN?
That's exactly what I was going to say. This is one of those things where it was like, are they going to build another star in CN, or are they going to let?
Nope,
they sure won't. Bobby Roode gets the win.
Well, they could have okay, you had your glorious entrance,
and it wasn't.
But you lose.
Yeah, I mean, I really feel sorry for Andrade because I feel like the reason that he didn't succeed is the way I feel that a lot of these guys they come in with reputations get over is there are NXT fans are a niche of wrestling fans, and there are a niche of NXT fans, which is already a niche of overall wrestling fans that follow Japanese wrestling or follow Lucha Libre, and that niche of the niche tell the slightly larger niche that, hey, this guy coming in has a reputation, and then that's how those people know to get excited for these guys coming in. The sad thing is that within a niche of a niche, less people pay attention to Lucha Libre than pay attention to Japanese wrestling. So when a guy like La Sombra comes in who's actually really good, they aren't necessarily, they may know he has a name, but they're not necessarily as hyped on him as someone else, just because I feel like less Americans pay attention to Lucha Libre than Japanese wrestling. It's just sort of the way it is, and I think it's a bummer for Andrade because I'll be honest with you, I think he's a lot more talented than Bobby Roode. I think Bobby Roode is bland as fuck. I think he's a dude with a really he's like the two things that the Roode has that Andrade doesn't have is an entrance theme that everyone likes and like the ability to speak English fluently, because he's not as good of a worker as Andrade. Andrade's charismatic. Agreed. You can see, and you can see whenever
whenever he was up on the ropes, he had his hand on his head, and hey, what are you doing? He's not a
charisma void. Like Bobby Roode can talk okay, and Bobby Roode can wrestle okay, but there are like a lot of dudes out there who are a lot better who could take that entrance and all that investment that WWE gave to Bobby Roode and be like a more complete package. You know what I mean? And it's hard to fault NXT for putting Roode over because he was the more over guy. Yeah. I don't think Andrade's blameless in this, in the sense that...
Do you think it was just a bad pairing?
No, I think he's already sort of floundered before Roode ever entered the picture. I just think that it's a tough spot to put him in against. If you're going to build him, he shouldn't be the Dillinger guy who's like giving the spotlight to the guy coming in, because if you hope for him to be a star, then he's got to get some footing before he can make someone else. And I think he was already sort of like floundering a little bit, and I don't think it's entirely not his fault, but I don't think it's entirely his fault either. I just I felt bad for him because people were really into Bobby Roode, and I don't know why the fuck they are, because I think he's really bland. He's a bland wrestler.
I didn't really get too much into beer money and stuff like that whenever he was in TNA, and like I I mean, I would listen to him, and I think he's all right. Like, I feel like maybe he's a better talker than wrestler. I mean, I don't think he sucks as a wrestler, but I mean,
the match they had was all right, and the only reason it was all right is because Andrade did some cool shit to make it not completely boring.
I mean, in one sense, you could look at a team like Enzo and Cass and be like, the crowd loves them because they're great talkers. They have that good entrance.
Right.
You know, no one goes back and be like, did you see their tag match?
Right.
It was, oh, did you hear what they said?
Yeah.
So, you know, when you have a theme for Bobby Roode that's as over as it is, that's the allure. But that's once that fades out, where do you go from there?
But the difference between the Enzo and Cass comparison you're drawing is that Enzo and Cass are over as talkers because they themselves talk well.
Mm-hmm.
Bobby Roode doesn't have anything to do with his entrance song. It's like they bestowed upon him an entrance that people like. He's not over because he's really awesome in the ring or really good on the mic. He's just okay in the ring and okay on the mic and has a cool song. At least Enzo and Cass are over because they can talk.
Right.
That's something they did.
Right.
Not like, you know, it was like bestowed upon them, you know.
Yeah.
And it's hard to fault them for putting Roode over because he is technically the more over guy. I just don't see where you go from. I don't see it like a lot of future in him.
Yeah.
I think they are going to eventually put him in the main event picture.
Oh, no doubt.
For sure. I mean, I really hope that CN, like, I don't know. I don't want him to keep
He's
on
good,
losing.
man. He's really good.
I agree.
And I feel like this is the best match he's had since he's
What
been
was
in
his
NXT.
first match? It was against Ty Dillinger, right?
It was against Ty Dillinger, yeah.
10. After that, we got to see some tag team action. The Revival going up against Gargano and Ciampa. Wow.
I liked it, but I don't know if it was like halfway through the match or when they kept on going back and forth and like the pinfalls. I was like, shit. I was like, Ciampa and Gargano are gonna lose. I could see it.
Yeah, they did all the hope spots and the near falls. And
Maybe I need to rewatch it again. I think I was deep into it, but it felt like a long ass match when they kept on going back and forth.
They gave them a lot of good time. I felt the match was really solid.
Because I was into it, and I was like, oh, no, they're going to win. No, and then I got to a point, I was like, fuck, they're going to lose. And don't get me wrong, I mean, I like the Revival, too, but I wanted Ciampa and Gargano to win it.
Yeah. How about you, Doug?
I thought they killed it.
Yeah.
The DIY, I guess they're calling themselves, are really good at the like go like near fall stuff, and the Revival are really good at that like cutting off a comeback, and that sort of like meshes really well together because they're really good at like having people like buy into their near falls, and the Revival are like really good at like taking that momentum away from the team,
Putting the foot on the road.
Right.
There's like 2 or 3 times I was like, oh, they're going to get, oh, shit, they took him out.
so they actually like their styles complement each other like really well.
Yeah.
So yeah, they killed it.
They had great chemistry with one another. And I don't know how you guys feel but the Gargano and Ciampa theme that they come out to, I freaking love it.
I forgot what it is.
It hasn't left.
It's so simple, but I
I got to
love it.
re-listen to it.
It hasn't left an impression on me one way or the other. So.
Yeah, I dig it. I like it. But yeah, these two teams put on
Johnny Wrestling.
a really great matchup worth checking out. After that, Asuka versus Bayley.
Y'all know, not to cut you guys off, but you know that Ciampa turn's coming because they keep teasing the fucking like hug after the
Yeah.
match.
I swear, that's
You know
what I
they're
thought.
They're not long for this world as a team. You know that, right?
Oh.
Don't say that. They're destined to be
Yeah,
together forever.
yeah,
they got shirts made.
There are NXT tapings like tonight or tomorrow. I bet they break up during those. I'm
Because
just
I
saying.
saw it. I was thinking that then. I was like, oh no, he's walking by him. Ciampa's looking weird. He's gonna pull him around and clothesline him or something.
But it's Gargano who turns on Ciampa. Oh, no one saw that coming.
I seen the look in your eyes, motherfucker. You were gonna turn on me. I turned on you before you could turn on me.
Beat you to the punch, bitch.
Nah, man. Johnny's the babyface in that team.
Yeah, for sure. Johnny Wrestling.
Tommaso Ciampa.
I like that kick thing they do where it's like they have them on the turnbuckle and they're like their head is between their legs. And
Yeah.
they kick.
Very nice. So, Asuka versus Bayley 2 for the NXT Women's Match title.
Still think it's weird that she's wearing a thong.
Let it go.
Let it go. I'll let it go.
All right.
It's fine. She's been wearing it the whole time.
I know,
Yeah.
but still weird. I know it's part of everything, but yeah.
It's on the outside.
Yeah.
Like
That's
Superman.
why it counts.
Like Superman. Or Quail Man.
I wear my underwear.
Wait. Yeah.
Quail Man?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they killed it too. There were a couple of spots that got a little rough and a little shaky as far as they dropped a couple of things, but I felt like they were able to recover in a way that took nothing away from the match, which is really hard to do. And I just, man, both of these women are really fucking good, and you can't take anything away from them. They are just that fucking good. Yeah, man, I don't know what to say because it was a really good match.
I mean, now that we know what we know with Bayley coming up,
Sure, it makes sense.
the right person won.
I feel
Bayley
like
had her swan song.
There's nothing left for her to do.
You're right.
I feel like Asuka has like the Shinsuke thing going on where she's like, like that creepy smile that they, they do or whatever.
It's like, oh, you want to actually hit me?
Yeah, you think
okay.
you can-
you asked for it.
Come on, yeah.
So
I like it.
Yeah, another great matchup for the ladies at an NXT Takeover event. And
I mean, some of these matches I remember liking or I remember disliking, but just because so much has happened this week and it's been so long at this point, so many days since, like specifics of me recalling like specific critiques or specific praises is going to be a little hard this week.
have to take notes or something
Sure.
next time. Bring a notepad.
Yeah.
After that main event, Shinsuke Nakamura going up against Samoa Joe for the NXT Championship.
That's a cool entrance. They gave the violin.
Yeah, it was okay. The guy did all right. He was a little flat, but whatever. I'm not one to complain.
You're flat. It sucked. But no,
It could have been worse.
His entrance in general, I've always liked it. So
Yeah. What about the match itself? What did you think about that?
it's pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
I totally enjoyed it, and every match, like when Shinsuke walks around, how he carries himself, and like we've talked about his, what's the word?
I don't know, swag.
Swag. That's it. Yeah, I guess that's it. I like how he carries himself and does all that stuff, and he can back it up. It's just Samoa Joe. I mean, you can't take anything away from him too. It's just it's a good match.
Yeah. There was one small complaint that I had for the matchup. The rest of the match was absolutely solid, but it was the beginning of the match. Leading up with the introductions, Samoa Joe and having to physically be held back, waiting for the chance to get his hands on Nakamura. Bell finally rings, and they circle one another, collar elbow, tie up.
Instead of just going straight.
Yeah, instead of just charging one another, trying to just beat the holy hell out of one another. Although, maybe they wanted to slow play it, however they did.
That would have been on Joe though, because
right.
the story like Knox to the cool guy, like he's too cool to be rattled. So he would just approach it like a normal match. So it would be on Joe to bring that to him, like
and that's the thing where it's like, okay, so you've built up all these promos where Joe's having to be pulled apart, Nakamura's laughing it off.
Right.
They have a stare down backstage or whatever. Joe has to be pulled apart. Nakamura's just standing there. So he gets in the ring. Referee's having to push him back. Hey man, wait for the bell. Wait for the bell. Got your nose and all that.
I thought that was.
And then the bell rings, and then he just circles. Like, no, you finally have him. Go get him. But other than that was pretty much my only complaint about the match.
I think that's a completely fair criticism.
Yeah. But the matchup, solid work from both guys.
They did cut to them throwing up the X thing, but apparently that was all like a work for the thing. They're trying to
what?
I guess like sell like he broke his jaw with the Kinshasa.
Dislocated his jaw.
Well, they did like a cut away from the celebration to the ref throwing up the X on Joe, and I guess they tried to work like a jaw injury, but it's
Keep
a
him
work
off for a few weeks.
Oh, so it
He's
is
fine.
work.
Yeah, he's fine.
Okay. Because I know he tweeted.
Did you read that on the internet?
Because he tweeted on his.
I mean, yeah. I mean, where else supposed to read this, guys?
Tweet on his account at
WWE Magazine,
jaw,
of course.
But it's
Your monthly subscription.
got put back in place or something.
It was
Check it out.
dislocated, then it was relocated.
And back in the day, the WWF magazine was really fucking cool. I know you guys may be like a little too young to have been it, but I used to subscribe and have it, and it was like
I have 5 of those magazines.
maybe it's just because I was younger, but like it was really fucking cool back then. I don't know. Maybe kids feel about it they feel about it today how I felt about it back then, but it just didn't.
They don't have the magazine anymore.
That's right. They did stop it, huh? Well, they do it digitally, but they don't publish it as a hard copy.
Digitally.
I think they do it digitally.
Save those trees, man. But Shinsuke Nakamura, your new NXT champion. So really good performance by all of the competitors. The NXT takeovers are always just something really special.
I swear, man, I'm getting the itch, man. I want Nakamura to be an NXT champion in the game, man. I want to play it. I want to play that shit right now.
In time.
No!
We'll get there.
I want the damn game now.
Well, you're going to have to wait a while. So deal with it. That takes us into SummerSlam. They had 3 kickoff matches, I'm sorry. Only one of them were originally scheduled as the main card, that being Sheamus versus Cesaro. But they had American Alpha teaming up with the Usos, teaming up with the Hype Bros to go up against the Ascension, the Vaudevillains, and Breezango. I didn't get to catch this matchup. I came in during the Sheamus and Cesaro match.
Yeah. I was about to say, you're going to have to tell me how it went, because by the time I got back from Houston and stuff, I only caught the last 2 matches.
Yeah. I mean, same outcome as what happened on SmackDown earlier that week. It was the exact same match, but they just, I guess, needed a time fill. Doug, did you get to check that match?
Which match?
The American Alpha, Usos, Hype Bros versus Ascension, Vaudevillains.
I did. I did see that match, but I was trying to Google if it is in fact, because I said so many things wrong. Like I didn't want to be like. I may be wrong about that too. I can't find it. Maybe it's not digital even anymore. So
Man, Doug,
I don't fucking know what's going on.
Falling apart.
I'm tired. I don't know what the fuck's going on. It's a lot of shit happening. Yeah, it was fine. They worked hard. It was very weird because the building was very empty there the first match on, and they went on maybe 30 or 40 minutes into the 2-hour pre-show, which is absurd.
And someone tweeted at me about the event because I was like, oh my gosh, this thing has been going on for so long.
Right.
This event, and someone tweeted at me who follows me on Twitter. They were like, yeah, I'm at the event. I've been here since 3 o'clock. They didn't open the doors until... Okay, so the kickoff started at what? 4
Central.
Yeah, he was like, they didn't open the doors until much later than they originally thought. Mm-hmm. So that's why a lot of people weren't getting into the building.
Yeah, because it was still very empty. They worked hard. They had a pretty decent match, but it wasn't anything to write home about.
How about the next kickoff match? Sami Zayn teaming up with Neville going up against the Dudley Boys in what is now their Dudley Boys final matchup or whatever.
It was very short. It was basically just Zayn and Neville got a couple of cool moves in, and then they did the Zayn ducked a clothesline and Bubba hit Devon with it. They moved the miscommunication spot, and then that led to the finish. It was very short, so it was not much to speak about. Okay,
so here's what I got. It is from @SkyHighBree. Saying most of us have been here since 3:30. We were told the doors were opening at 4, which would have been 3 our time, but they didn't until 5:30. So 4:30 is when the doors opened. Pre-show starts at 4.
Wow.
So
it might have been filing in as this match was happening.
Yeah. So Zayn and Neville going up against the Dudley Boys. I'm sorry, I didn't catch what you said.
They heard it.
Okay.
Whoever was listening.
They all heard it.
Yeah.
Listeners
heard it.
They heard it. That's what's most important.
There's no need for me to repeat that.
Then Sheamus going up against Cesaro in the best of 7. I enjoyed this matchup. I would have. I'm kind of glad that it got bumped to kickoff because they were allotted a lot of time, and I know that if it had been on the main card, it probably would have been shortened down. But these guys went a good 15, 20 minutes, somewhere around there. Maybe not that long.
It's hard for me to recall, but
they went for a while, and they had a really good matchup with Sheamus getting the win and taking the lead 1-0.
It was good. Both these guys are really good. They're really good together. They work really hard together. What I'm concerned about is with the best of 7 series, is I would hope to see some escalation and some build in the matches and storytelling that's going to play off of previous matches.
This match can only end by submission. This match can only end by countout. This match can only end by last man standing.
I mean, not so much that, just callbacks to previous matches and things that worked in previous matches, guys learning from that, and like, I mean, like bell to bell storytelling that in that sense, like escalating. So I would hope to see some of that, but I don't know if that's what we're gonna see.
Yeah.
If anybody could do it, it's Cesaro, though. So
absolutely. And Cesaro was involved in like a backstage exclusive video or whatever for WWE.com on Raw, where he made mention that the winner of the series gets a title opportunity. So at least there is some implications to this series taking place.
Fuck it, I'm gonna sit down too.
All right, welcome to the party.
Best of 9.
Yeah. So we kick SummerSlam off. Jericho and Owens going up against Cass and Enzo. And Enzo coming out cutting a killer promo for those of you who live in New York or are familiar with New York. And they're musical artists.
If throughout the whole week on WWE.com and on Facebook, that they have all their stars, doing press stuff everywhere. Well, they showed Enzo and Cass going everywhere, like to shoe places. Did you see that and stuff? And he said in one interview, he's like, man, it's good when you get famous and more people recognize it, because people will send you free stuff all the time. Go check out these J's, and he's like, I got that for free. He's just getting free stuff like that.
Nice. So Jericho going up against Enzo and Cass. Thoughts on the matchup? I thought it was surprising.
Filler tag team until whatever happens to Owens.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, Cass and Enzo had me with B.I.G. because I'm a big B.I.G. fan. I think he's the greatest of all time. Juicy is an iconic song, and for them to base their promo around the song, I mean, I'm in the bag for that kind of shit. I mean, I guess if you don't like B.I.G. or you don't like hip-hop, or I can see how it wouldn't affect you, but that's the kind of thing that seems like was made for Doug in a Doug factory. Like, they just, like, make stuff for me, Like, that's something that's tailor-made for me to appreciate, It feels like that, at least. Those things you think in the world that you think, like, exist just for you, you know what I mean? Like, that's how that kind of thing feels for me. So of course I'm in the bag for that. I appreciate that.
What else is being shipped out of the Doug factory?
I want to work at a Doug factory.
I don't know. You guys are running with this Doug factory shit, aren't you?
I'm just curious.
Yeah, I'm just making like an expression. You know what I mean?
No, I do.
I mean, have you never felt like something is like so perfectly within your taste that like it was made for you? It's like, one of your favorite rappers like combined with pro wrestling. That's like a Doug thing, Only people like me, like, are gonna like get that. And there are stuff that's made for Daniel and the Daniel Factory. And it's not just a Doug factory. I mean, there is a Tyler factory. There's
a factory.
There's a Daniel factory. I mean,
shit.
His would be 80s Doctor Who
wrestling
plus wrestling.
That's what I'm trying to say.
No, yeah, I know. I totally understand.
I mean, I said it a little like goofy, but
2K17 made in the Tyler factory.
Yeah, there you go.
And
Doctor Who is your created character and comes out with a
maybe
boombox.
Maybe. Sorry, go ahead.
I mean, like we were talking about earlier, I mean, these guys are good talkers, not necessarily great wrestlers. God bless Enzo for being able to talk so fucking well, because he's not that great in the ring. Enzo at his best in the ring is either getting thrown around by the opposite team or letting Big Cass throw him around. That's when Enzo is at his best.
Picks him up and tosses him over the top rope. Picks him up and tosses him from the top rope.
Enzo's at his best when he's got a mic in his hand or he's a ragdoll for somebody. And that's fine. At least he's like, he excels at
He has
something.
a purpose.
He excels at one of the dimensions of wrestling. So, and Cass is very limited still. Cass is a better wrestler than Enzo. But he's still very formulaic. He's going to throw a big boot and he's going to toss Cass around a little bit. And he's going to hit that Empire elbow.
And he's going to say, how you doing?
It's a very specific formula that they work.
Hit him with it, Zoe.
But, they're going to improve, I at least hope. And goddamn, dude, I'm way into Jericho again. I don't know what it is.
Really?
Is it the stash?
The Jericho and the Owens team, I'm really into.
Is it because of the
you guys
team?
didn't see the? Did you see the pre-show promo? I'm assuming
No,
you guys did.
I have not, no.
It was they were fucking on point with it. Oh, we should talk about the Baron Corbin. You guys didn't see the Baron Corbin pre-show promo.
No,
He cut a promo on Kalisto about how he just like came up on the pre-show panel or whatever and just like picked it up. He's like, I got some shit to say. And they were like, what are you doing here? And he's just like, whatever. And
Whatever the hell I want. Who's going to stop me?
he was basically calling, because he was supposed to wrestle, I guess in storyline, he was supposed to wrestle Kalisto, and he's like calling him a coward for ducking him, saying all this shit, spoke some fucking Spanish to the motherfucker, was like, it was just like fucking dressing him down, and then Renee goes to ask, he's like, I'm not fucking here to answer. He didn't say fuck. He's like, I'm not here to answer questions. Sets his shit down and walks off. It was the best promo Baron Corbin has ever cut, and he was very convincing as like a stoic hard. I'm telling you,
We'll watch it after this.
And it was on the pre-show.
it was on the God knows it's probably like 45 minutes into the fucking 2-hour pre-show. Who knows what time it was, but it was the best promo Corbin's ever cut, and I saw some real promise in him as a character at that point.
Nice.
So go back if you didn't see it. But I don't even know what we're talking about anymore.
Jericho and Owens
Yeah, they.
backstage.
Yeah, so what was their stuff about?
I can't remember. I just remember being really entertained by it.
Impressed. They were on the same level.
I just like the shtick they're doing. I don't know. Like, it's just really appealing to me right now.
I love the fact that after the matchup, Owens is like, I love you, Chris. I love you. And like even in the match, he's like blowing kisses to him. And, you know, this is for you, Chris. You're my buddy. I got your back, best friend. Like just the small things.
Yeah, they're really good together.
Wouldn't expect it, but
Match was but Enzo and Cass aren't that good.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah.
And it was kind of surprising to see Jericho and Owens get the win, but hey, you know,
Because I picked Enzo and Cass. So, I mean, that's what we felt. That was weird that they won, because it was like, okay, I mean, Jericho and Owens, they can take the loss.
right?
I don't feel like Enzo and Cass could take the loss.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, I guess they can take the loss.
Well, they're big enough stars that they can, and you know, like we've talked about, it's not necessarily their wrestling that wins them over with the crowd. It's what they do before the matchup that you know really gets them going. But yeah, so
what if like Enzo like still is like later on they break up, like later on in the future. He's still a wrestler, but he also becomes a manager too. So he wrestles.
I'd be totally fine with that. I'd be fine if
Yo,
you
my
were,
boy right here is gonna kick you. You know, the saying something, but you know, I'll get in the ring too.
like not a parallel path, but a similar path would be that of Matt Stryker. Started out as a wrestler, became sort of a manager type. Then he went to commentary, and you know the rest is history from there. But he still wrestles from time to time. So, you know. Not saying that that's the path that it's going to happen for Enzo.
I think Enzo wants to wrestle too. You know?
Well, yeah, absolutely. But he has the possibility of better options, being a manager, commentator, something like that. Who knows? Time will tell.
You know my boy.
Yeah. 0 times.
0 times.
After that, we got to see Charlotte and Sasha tear it down and really go to town on each other's back.
Oh, my gosh. I'm surprised. Is Sasha hurt?
She... Not from this particular match, but she is, you know, suffering from injuries. She's taken a month off to recover from nagging injuries, back, neck, shoulder, all that.
Yeah, I'm not surprised that she's feeling the hurt.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
It was kind of shocking to see Charlotte get the win.
No, if you guys recall, if you go back to the prediction show last week, I said I think my official prediction is Sasha because I feel like that's the correct direction. But if you guys remember, I said I think Charlotte's going to win this match because I heard I heard a lot of fuss about how they were going to change. There was big rumors going that they were going to change it there. So I didn't want to believe it. So obviously I picked against what I should have picked. But
yeah, but you know Charlotte ends up taking it, and that tumble from the top rope was that was nasty. You know, and then they continued on more stuff similar to it. It's just, dude,
stop doing that shit.
Easy, take it easy on the back. But yeah, Charlotte, the new women's champion. So
yeah, I like this match a lot, and it was odd because there were so many fucking like botches. Not so many. There were a couple of big botches that felt like they should have taken you out of the match, but the recklessness that they felt like they had, the like disregard like they felt like they had for one another, like sort of like swept that under the rug and made it feel like
dirty.
Like, it just made it feel like they were trying to kill each other or something, you know? Like, I mean, it wasn't like it was not like like a blood feud, like I'm gonna fucking slit this dude's throat or anything. But like,
you're gonna die.
Like, their fuck ups were covered in a way that felt like I don't know how to describe it. They didn't take me out of the match. There was some big, stupid, ridiculous bumps taken. There, like you said, like you guys, I'm sure said, they almost killed each other like a couple of times. I mean,
a couple of times.
we'll get back to this recklessness with Charlotte stuff, but I feel like she's improved, but at the same time, I still feel like she's really reckless.
Yeah,
and I think like a lot of
young and reckless.
Yeah, I mean, I think 2 of those were her fault. So, and I'm no expert or anything, but I feel like she's.
Yeah.
But I like the match, like in spite of that.
After that, Miz and Apollo Crews, short matchup.
Apollo Creed.
Title.
Apollo Creed.
Apollo Crews. Miz retains. Anything to take away from the matchup? I ended up missing this match because I was looking away for whatever reason, and I looked back up and the match is over. Okay.
I kind of thought Apollo was gonna win.
Yeah, but Miz goes on to retain and keeps the Miz World Tour Intercontinental Championship reign going.
Yeah, that's a right call.
Yeah, it was a good cool down match because after that we got what I would say is match of the night, definite top contender for match of the year, at least in the top 5. AJ Styles versus John Cena, and I mean, what can you really say about this matchup? These guys went to town. Great matchup, great counters, just overall great action.
Yeah, I mean, AJ's been on a fucking tear this year. He's had great matches with seemingly everyone that he's been matched with. I can't think of someone he's had a bad match with. He had good matches with Roman that people are overlooking and underrating.
What about the Jericho stuff?
The Jericho match on Raw was fine. I don't think it was actively bad, but it wasn't.
No, I mean like when he first started. You remember how the feud?
That's what I'm saying. The wasn't the first match on like Smackdown or something. And I remember thinking this was fine, but they were clearly holding off stuff for later matches at that point. I don't remember the pay-per-view match, but I don't know. Like AJ's been on a tear. Cena seemingly just came back. It feels like, but you know, they call him Big Match John for a reason. I mean, he delivers, and they killed it. I mean, I thought that 3/4 of the match seemed like the go home stretch, where like trading finishes and like reversals. But
why does it seem like every time John Cena, and I guess it's how he throws a person or whatever, every time like he'll do the FU, like either like stand up or on the turnbuckle, the person, I guess, always lands on their tailbone, looks like.
Oh, that's just
because they rotate.
Right.
So it's, I don't know. I kind of
it's hard to land that right.
Yeah, I kind of cringe because I know it's part of the business. You're going to hurt with no matter what, but I'm like, protect the tailbone.
But I mean, my God, this matchup was crazy. The crowd was definitely into it. I think this was the final match before the crowd kind of died out and got a little cranky. But I mean, they went all in on this matchup. AJ Styles and John Cena went all out in this matchup. Worth checking out. Really good stuff.
He won with the Styles Clash, or did he win with the?
No, he hit a Styles Clash.
Phenomenal.
Was like, fuck it, I'm not going for the cover. Then he hit the
forearm.
Like he was like, I'm putting the icing on the cake. It was like he already kicked out of one Styles Clash earlier, so he was like, I'm for sure gonna make sure I put him away. So he doubled up.
Yeah, and to be honest, I was kind of surprised that it was a clean win, and for you know, a guy who came from TNA to pin the WWE's top guy for the past 15 years. Like, to me, that kind of blew my mind. Like, I would never think that Vince would allow something like that to happen. But, you know, times are a-changing.
Well, there's a couple of factors. One, John is clearly going away for a while. He did the whole, like, I left my armband in the... He's not done, but he's done for a while.
Going to film season 2
Never give
of that
up,
TV
but I'm
show
giving up
or
for a
whatever.
few months.
Well, I mean,
No,
there
I
was, I don't know if it was last week on Talking Smack or the previous week, but there was this whole thing where he was saying he's at the point in his career where he's like, he's waiting and wanting someone to take a spot from him. He's like, I'm waiting for the guy to do what I do as consistently as I do it to take this spot from me so I can like ride into the sunset. And maybe that's a vote of confidence from him to put him over that clean. Maybe it's not his call at all.
No.
But clearly AJ is, I think, the guy to build around on the blue brand. I think that's what they're going to end up doing.
But how long of a career can you have with AJ Styles?
Yeah.
Well, you can get another 5 years out of him. I mean, he's old, but he's not over the hill. I mean,
because I want to say, like, he and Cena are around the same age.
they are. But, I mean, if Cena wanted to go 5 more years, he could go 5 more years.
But it'd be a passing of the torch, if you will, changing of the guard.
Sure.
I'll tell someone you can pass the torch to, and he's young. Johnny Gargano. There you go.
There you go.
Never going to happen.
No.
John Cena ain't jobbing for Johnny Gargano. Not at this point in his career. Like, by the time Gargano got to a status that would be acceptable for him to have the torch passed to him, Cena will be done. No offense to Gargano. I know he's your boy and all.
Well, after that, Gallows and Anderson going up against Woods and Kingston, and a little help from Jon Stewart. I don't know.
Like, what?
The crowd didn't really seem to be all into this matchup. They didn't seem to be into Jon Stewart, which I found kind of odd because in the Daily Show taped in New York, like, I figured that they'd be all over him.
He doesn't do it anymore.
Well, I know that, but, you know, just
they had
for history's sake.
I imagine he's in baseball.
jars with testicle water and
Oh, Lord.
It was almost like they wanted some sort of like outside name for the show, which he agreed to do it again. And it's almost like they tried to apologize for last year by putting him with the popular act instead of the, you know, and
I thought
they still hated it. They still hated it.
yeah, I thought he was gonna turn.
I was
on New
expecting
Day.
that, too. He was going to take off the New Day shirt and have a club shirt or something.
I mean, it's hard to get that sort of stuff over. It's just dumb. It doesn't really, I don't know. It just doesn't connect, you know?
Doctor
And
phenomenal. Doctor phenomenal.
And the tease from Balor. He's been teasing on Twitter how long about the club and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's a good tease though. They put it in their pocket for later.
Yeah. That they did.
But unfortunately, it's going to have to be much later. But any thoughts on the matchup itself?
No, but can I? No, the match was kind of bad, and the Stewart stuff was kind of bad, and I'm happy that Big E's back, even though he wasn't really hurt. But it's still like,
why they do all that?
I hate when babyfaces have to get the win with the numbers advantage, and the babyfaces technically had the outside interference on their behalf, so I don't like that.
It's 4-on-2.
Yeah, it was basically 4-on-2.
Well, 3.5 at best.
3.5. 3 1/4 if you go by the jar size.
Biggie drinks all that stuff.
Can we talk about how fucking awesome that KFC commercial with Dolph Ziggler and The Miz was?
I was like, yeah. I was like, what the hell am I watching? But this is cool.
First of all, I love how all their commercials now, they're making it tied to the product. Like every commercial, whoever's advertising with them, they're getting something wrestling related.
And they're having the Miz involved.
Well, even if it's they're drawing the Jolly Ranchers to wrestle, or Dolph and the Miz are going to wrestle as a chicken and the General.
I love Dolph as the Colonel.
I thought it was awesome.
Like, holy shit, the Colonel's buff, and he's like talking like all Southern style and shit. And
I thought it was super fucking cool. I was like, if I have to see a commercial, this is a commercial I want to see.
how awesome would it have been? Because I read that they taped that on that past Smackdown or something like that.
I think I heard that too.
And to be a part of that, like, oh no, we're cheering for the Colonel. That was like, fuck yeah,
I
that'd be
love
awesome.
that, like, it's smoke when he goes backstage, but then he's like on the screen.
Yeah.
Super cool.
So terrible.
I loved it.
You know
I
what's
thought
so
it was
funny is, and kind of cool, KFC is getting their shit out there because they partnered with DC Comics, and they have their own comics stuff with like DC superheroes and stuff, and there's like alternate dimensions with other Colonels and stuff, and I haven't got that comic, which I do want to get. So I was like,
did I say Colonel or did I say General? I probably fucked it up.
I think you said Colonel.
So they're getting their shit out there everywhere in the weirdest way.
Check the internet.
The weirdest way, but it's still pretty cool. Even if it's like sci-fi or wrestling, it's hey man, they're getting it's really cool.
While we're on the topic of DC, did y'all get to see Suicide Squad yet?
I have not.
I saw it.
What did you think?
It was fine. I think the people who were saying it was awful or sort of exaggerating, I think the people who were saying it was awesome are exaggerating.
Yeah.
I think it's
there were good points, there were bad points. I
know online that they said that Leto was disappointed. He was like tricked to being Joker because he thought it was going to go in a different direction.
I don't think he was tricked. I think there was a significant amount of footage of him
wasn't shown,
cut that sort of added more to make more sense of what they saw.
Mm-hmm.
And in all honesty, he could have been left out of the movie altogether, and it would have been like less segmented feeling.
Yeah. I finally sat down and watched the Batman v Superman Ultimate Edition last night.
It was like 3 hours or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched that. I've never watched the theatrical version.
Neither have I.
So I watched that. I was like, this is good.
Yeah.
And Susan was like, no, I watched it like in theaters, and like it got me confused on certain things because they cut to certain parts.
Yeah, they added about 30 minutes into the Ultimate Edition, and to be honest, I enjoyed it. I thought it was fine.
I did too.
But
I liked the movie. Really good.
Whatever. People were just cranky about being cranky.
I want to complain.
Yeah. I'm curious as to how the Justice League movie is going to be, because I'm pretty sure Wonder Woman is going to be
It was like Batman versus Superman. It's going to be good.
So let's dive back into the SummerSlam. Dean Ambrose.
Let's dive back into the Colonel Sanders and the chicken stuff. It was good shit, man.
It's finger little good.
Okay, that's it.
Dean Ambrose versus Dolph Ziggler for the WWE World Championship.
WWE.
WWE.
I thought it was a bad match. They didn't hold.
Did I watch it? I don't know.
They didn't draw me in. I don't ever think I felt like Ziggler had a chance to win.
He never had a chance.
Ambrose was extremely cocky at the end. Like when he finally hit Dirty Deeds, he was like, all right, ref, you know what to do.
Yeah. I never felt like the finish was in question. I don't feel like they did anything within the course of the match to ever make me doubt what I had already assumed was happening.
Yeah.
I just didn't think it was a good match. And I just didn't.
Nothing really stood out.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it.
Okay. After that, Natalya and Alexa Bliss. Instead of Eva Marie, they got the return of Nikki Bella.
I caught the end part of that match.
The crowd absolutely popped. So
it was probably a better match than what it would be, I guess, with Eva Marie.
Yeah.
Sounds bad.
Yeah. And
Nikki's better than Eva for sure.
And they went up against Becky Lynch, Naomi, and Carmella.
Get your popcorn.
Well, they did the whole like Eva's on vacation thing or whatever.
Due to stress.
Yeah.
But she got suspended due to
But it
stress.
was weird because Nikki got a babyface reaction, was on the heel team, and also she is a babyface on SmackDown.
Was she doing heel stuff?
No, she's a babyface.
She teamed with the heels.
But she didn't do any heelish stuff.
Not really. She worked and played to the crowd like a babyface, and they treated her like a babyface.
Strange. So in
and she was a
return,
babyface on SmackDown.
that team became a babyface team.
No.
No.
So other two were doing heelish things.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Basically.
Wow. Weird.
It was sort of like when Eva Marie joined the Total Divas team and she felt like out of place. It was sort of like that thing. Less extreme version of that.
Gotcha.
Then Finn Balor going up against Seth Rollins. And this is where I had an issue with the crowd. And turns out Seth Rollins did as well because they debuted the Universal title. Similar.
Which looks fine.
Yeah, it's
looks
just
fine.
It's a red strap. Get over it, peeps.
Yeah. Well, there was times where, like, I don't know if it was during this match or a different match, they were, like, chanting some weird stuff. I didn't understand what they were chanting. They were saying some weird shit. Or maybe it was just normal stuff. I just couldn't understand them.
They were chanting about the title.
That's what that was?
Yeah.
What'd they say?
They were saying, like, in the style of the John Cena sucks, they were saying red title sucks.
Oh, okay. I couldn't understand them.
Yeah. It was just stupid shit. And it completely detracted from the matchup. It took away the focus on these two competitors. 5 minutes into the match, Finn Balor dislocates his shoulder, pops it back into place, goes back in to finish this matchup, which went on for like another 15 minutes, while the crowd's sitting there chanting at a belt. Every time that they showed the belt on the screen, the fans would boo. Like, dude, get over it. No reason for that.
First of all, the title looks completely fine. It looks just like the fucking black one. It's just red.
Yeah.
I don't see why you even care. And second of all, what your dumbasses don't understand is that Vince interprets that as, I don't care about these two guys that are in the ring. So when, and obviously Finn's out for the rest of the year, but when you look at your main event scene that you feel like you have the right to dictate to them, and you don't see Finn Balor or Seth Rollins, and you were one of these red belt chanting motherfuckers, then you look in the mirror and you say, I am responsible for this. Because whenever you see the people you want in the ring, but you choose to chant about a stupid belt that looks fine in the first place, Vince interprets that as, I don't give a fuck about either one of these guys.
Mm-hmm.
And that's on you. So you look in the mirror when you aren't happy.
And then he's going to put the belt on whoever he wants, which the crowd is going to hate. But it's going to be one of those things where it's like, well, you weren't cheering for the guy that I tried to give you, so I'm going with who I want. Yep. And y'all can just deal with it.
Fuck y'all. Because y'all said fuck you to me.
It's just, it's the same belt as the other belt. It's just a different color.
Mm-hmm. I mean, hell, UFC does the exact same thing.
Yes.
Every single one of their belts is the exact same.
It's not even different colors.
Yeah.
They're just all the same belt.
Although I will say that the SmackDown tag titles, I like the blue and silver as opposed to the original black and copper.
Mm-hmm.
I'm digging that.
I'm fine with the SmackDown titles, too.
Yeah. I mean, I have no issues with the belt. It's a belt. Get over it.
I think they all look fine. They're all fine. I don't know what the fucking problem is.
I mean, I know maybe the fans were like, oh, we're going to get something original, something new. And then it's like, okay, it's the same design. It's just a different color. So maybe that's probably why they were booing. They felt it was a lazy cop-out. They didn't like the color or something. I don't know. But, dude, if you're going to boo that, then are you going to boo the UFC every time they introduce a new weight division and give them a similar belt to all of their other divisions? Like, okay, what are we going to see for the Cruiserweight Championship? Are we going to see the same design in a different color? Are y'all going to boo that?
Yeah, well, that is what we're going to see.
So
that's clear, because if you look at what they did with the SmackDown titles, you can clearly see that they are probably going to do that with the Cruiserweight title, too.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be
Are they
surprised
going to
at all.
redesign the Intercontinental and U.S. belts to do that?
I don't think so.
Mm-mm.
But I don't know.
Wouldn't put it past them, but I don't think so.
It's just dumb. I mean,
you took your focus.
they're clearly like way into this with the red and blue thing. What did you think they were going to do? It's
Right.
like,
I mean, you took your focus away from two of the greatest performers in the ring today to chant about a belt. And the matchup was absolutely solid. Great work from both of these guys.
Seth Rollins was on his Twitter handle and was like, hey, you let me down, Brooklyn.
Yeah. It devalues the performers, not the belt.
I mean, I'm telling you. I mean, Vince interprets that as, I don't care about who's in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
So if you thought you were going to like, first of all, I don't know what you thought that was going to accomplish, or do you think they're going to change the design because you guys said the red one sucks? They're not changing the belts.
Yeah.
And second of all, like, they interpret that as, you don't give a fuck about Finn Balor. So when Finn Balor is not as of the status that you want, look in the mirror if you were the people chanting about this stupid fucking belt.
Mm-hmm. So, but Finn Balor gets the win over Seth Rollins, becomes the new Universal Champion. Crowd goes okay for that.
Yeah.
So,
Match was fine. It was not the best match, I think, possible between these guys, but it was nothing to chant about a belt about, I guess.
yeah. I mean, you got to give credit for Finn Balor popping his shoulder back in and going in, and you know, maybe he toned down a little bit from that, and that might have had an effect on the action. But I mean, my God, these guys went out there and performed for you people and are chanting about a belt.
Yeah, I mean, I take nothing away from Finn.
Grow the hell up.
If my shoulder goes out of socket at work, my ass is going to the house.
I mean, if they were
not popping back in to continue.
I want to say that I heard somewhere that they were actually going to debut the belt on Raw the following night, but I guess they wanted to say, okay, we have a new champion. Here's your new belt. Like maybe they could have done it after the match or something where it wouldn't distract the crowd. But I mean, I don't think they would have thought that the crowd was going to react that negatively throughout the match.
Yeah, I mean, why would they have any reason to believe that they would shit on the belt?
Yeah.
Because they already have a belt that looks like that. It's a palette swap.
Yeah. At the time, they had two belts that looked like that. The WWE and the women's. It's the exact same. Whatever. So
you're right. I didn't even think about that. It's a third belt that looks the same. Why is that the one that gets shit on?
Exactly. So after that, we got to see Rusev, Roman Reigns. The match never starts because they start a brawl. More of a time filler than anything. Now we understand why they had the match on Raw.
I don't think it was a time filler. I think it was specifically designed to try to help Roman get more over.
Yeah.
Because if they would have had a match and Roman would have, I think, had to put Roman over, and then I think they were anticipating a bad reaction for Roman. So I feel like they thought the best course of action was we'll do a brawl. Crowd got into the brawl. Crowd popped for Roman during the brawl. It was like, one of those things where a guy they don't like does something cool or does some cool stuff, and then they get into it and they react positively. Mm-hmm. And then they realize at a later date, they're like, oh, this is the guy we decided we didn't like. So it was one of those things. But I thought the brawl was cool. I had no problem with it not being a match, especially because A, the show is fucking long at this point. Yeah. B, we just saw the match on Raw anyway. Yeah. I think it was fine. I think it was a good purpose and a good intention, and I think it came out for the better how they had it planned.
Mm-hmm. And that takes us into the main event, Brock Lesnar going up against Randy Orton. I didn't really have high expectations for this matchup. The ending was kind of a shock, but other than that, it's nothing really too memorable for me. And aside from the blood and the gash on Orton's forehead,
it's a lot of blood.
Yeah, it was. But aside from that, there wasn't really too much memorable stuff for me.
I mean, it was the Brock formula match, which I think they're still stuck on presenting him as a beast. Eventually, somebody's got to conquer that dude. Hopefully.
One thing I did find very interesting is how much bigger Orton is than Lesnar.
You mean tall?
I mean, he's taller, but he also seems like he's a little more muscular. Like, Lesnar seemed like sort of a short and stocky kind of guy, whereas like Orton was more of a tall and lanky.
I mean, he might be taller than him, but I don't buy that he's bigger.
Yeah.
Lesnar's a big motherfucker.
He is.
I felt like it was Lesnar formula, and it felt like when he cut him with the elbow, that felt like the part where the match gets more intense at that point. Mm-hmm. And instead, that's where they went home in the finish. So it felt like they hit like the crescendo where the match is supposed to go off the chain at that point, but they took it home there.
Yeah.
We all expected Lesnar to win. I mean, Orton was not the guy to capitalize on, so I don't know. Mm-hmm.
One thing about this pay-per-view, did y'all like when it was SmackDown matches, the SmackDown commentary would talk, and then Raw was Raw commentary?
Yeah. It's fine.
And
I mean, they've done stuff like that in the past.
Yeah.
I'm totally fine with that. It's nice to hear Morrow get to call a WWE pay-per-view, and all the commentators are doing fine jobs now.
All the kerfuffle about the elbow, though, I guess. I mean, I see the points on it. The idea that it was like a shoot elbow designed to open him up hard way.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't want their talent to blade anymore. It's like supposedly forbidden for them to blade, but blading is a safer alternative than getting bludgeoned in the head by a 300-pound fucking behemoth of a dude with sharp ass elbows, elbowing you in the head with the intent to open it up and make you bleed.
Yeah.
Like the purpose was he's going to hard way him, and that's going to be like a shocking end to the match.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got, Orton blood.
At least it only took him one try.
I think, he gave him a couple, though.
Oh.
But, I mean, either way, he's done this. But the idea is that if concussions are a concern, a 300-pound man fucking throwing elbows at someone else's skull is enough to induce a concussion. So why are we not just letting these dudes like blade? Like with there is a I mean, I'm sure blood testing is at the point where you can have them all on blood tests and it not be an issue. It's way less like harmful to them to cut their forehead with a blade to get the blood than to have Brock fucking Lesnar raining elbows on people's fucking heads. Not that I'm
where
like
it requires 10 staples to keep it closed.
You saw that fucking jagged ass gash on his head?
Yeah. Especially on SmackDown. And now it's all like swollen and everything. Oh, dude.
It's wild, dude. Could you go out there knowingly going to eat an elbow like that from Orton?
I wouldn't be out there in the first place.
I mean, from Lesnar? God damn.
What's the lowest amount of money you would take for Lesnar to bust you open like that? Lowest amount.
50 G's.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Like if you just walk to the ring, lay down, he gets on top, bam!
50 G's. It got to be worth my time. 50 G's.
Hey, Bear?
Mil.
That's not, wow. That's kind of high, but all right.
Maybe I could do it for 25. Maybe I could do it for 25.
Yeah. Man. I'd have to be at least 50. Maybe 75 because I want to pay for my medical bills first and then have at least 50. So 50 plus expenses. Airfare, hotel, food, all that,
If we'll just say really 70. Honest.
$20. But apparently someone backstage didn't take too kindly to it, that being Chris Jericho. After SummerSlam, they got into a heated brawl. Had to be pulled apart a couple of times.
All right, so this is the story as it is being told.
On the internet.
Well, this one I know, I mean, it is the rumored story, but this comes from a credible place. I know where I fucking heard this. So, this one you can count on. The other shit I said up to this point, who knows?
Everything else.
Who knows? This is a fucking crapshoot. But story is, obviously Jericho sees what happened and is like, whoa, what the fuck? He's concerned for, the health of Orton, because who wouldn't be when fucking Lesnar is raining elbows into people's fucking heads? And he goes to Gorilla. He asks Michael Hayes what the finish was. Supposedly, the way they're doing the Lesnar shit is very hush-hush. Only a handful of people know what the finish is supposed to be, whatever. Because it's so hush-hush, Hayes doesn't tell Jericho what the finish is. He just doesn't answer him. And so Jericho's like, that's fucking bullshit. Apparently, as Lesnar's walking back. And I guess what Jericho was talking about is bullshit that Hayes wouldn't tell him what's going on. But Lesnar interprets that just walking in on as it's bullshit what he done, when it was according to plan all along that he was supposed to hardway him. So Lesnar's like, whoa, mind your own fucking business. What, you want some shit? And so apparently like,
Just imagine a 300-pound Brock Lesnar walking by saying exactly that in that manner.
well, that's not a quote, but you guys know what
That should be a direct quote.
Yeah, it's obviously not a quote, but like, I'm just trying to like paint a picture here. And so, Jericho doesn't back down. Jericho's like, so basically they exchange words. Brock Lesnar says some crap. They get in each other's face. They get interwoven, like all grappled up on each other. And Triple H
kissing.
Triple H, well, yeah, Lesnar says, I think this is a quote, or this is the alleged quote. He says, like, punch me or kiss me. And then probably says some derogatory slurs as far as
his nationality.
No,
being Canadian.
Not Canadian. He basically said gay slurs, which is, awful. So that's what a shithead. And that was what is alluded to. And Triple H breaks it up. And then they sort of get back into it again. And then Vince breaks it up again and says, hey, it was a fucking work. It was a work, whatever.
I'm Vince McMahon, damn it.
Yeah. And apparently Triple H told Vince that Brock was the one that started it, and that's the story.
And nothing happened to Brock.
He was fined $500.
No, I don't think.
No.
That's kayfabe, bro.
Yeah.
What's kayfabe? Exactly.
I think it's called
That's the story.
Kayfabe.
Oh. There you go. So that's the story. Sticking to it.
Asleep.
Hey, now.
Hey, you want some shit?
And that brings us right into Raw, where we kick it off with Finn Balor coming out, making the announcement. He is injured, and he's going to be having to take some time off.
Rest of the year, I think, huh?
4 to 6 months is the recovery time with the surgery.
It's a bummer, man.
Yeah, but he
Part
has
of the business, you know.
he has undergone surgery. It was a success, so now the road to recovery begins for him.
Isn't it wild how they have those people, like, when they're injured, they have them in there, like, the next fucking day, like, just to get that recovery cranked out?
Yeah.
Because, like, if you had to have surgery, it'd be like a big planning thing. You'd be like, I got to get time off from
prep
work.
you.
Well,
and-
the thing, though, is what's crazy is I know
Like, we'll fly you out
WWE
right now.
is like a big, like, juggernaut company. And, like, with regular people and stuff, when they go to doctors and see, I know they have doctors on staff, but, like, then they have to schedule an appointment. So I don't know if they have their own, like, personal surgeons or they know people. Hey, we're going to get you in the next fucking day. But, like, stuff over here, you're not going to get into surgery the next day. We're going to have to see when they can schedule you into surgery.
They have a list of surgeons and doctors and stuff like that are just about on call for WWE alone. I mean, obviously they do other practice, but whenever WWE calls, it's like, oh, hey, so we got to bump your surgery to later today. We got someone coming in.
It's just wild to think about. You can be like, you have to have a surgery. It's tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Cancel your flight. We're bringing you here. So Finn Balor had to surrender the Universal title less than 24 hours after
He was
winning
tearing up,
it.
man.
Yeah, heartbreaking to see. But it's interesting with the timetable that he's going to be coming back. It'll be right around January. That's the 4 to 6 month timetable. If he comes back in 5, I believe.
Trying to allude to the Royal Rumble, sir?
Well, you always got to speculate a little bit as to what's going to happen the following year.
How dare you?
I mean, I'm just saying something might right itself to where maybe somehow Seth Rollins gets the title, and maybe Finn Balor returns at the Royal Rumble, and maybe Finn Balor wins the Royal Rumble, and maybe he goes on to face Seth Rollins at WrestleMania for the Universal title, the title which he never lost, and he rebuilt, redesigned, and wants to reclaim.
And maybe the fans still chant about the belt at WrestleMania.
That belt sucks! So, and maybe we'll see how it goes. Who knows? So, it was heartbreaking to see the title being taken.
He seemed to take it pretty well, actually.
Yeah.
I could tell he got a little emotional at the end, but he was trying to put on a happy face, and
yeah.
obviously he's bummed. But
And then Rollins comes out, and then Owens comes out, and then Jericho, and Zayn.
Because I thought what was going to happen is because actually Seth Rollins comes out first, then Sami Zayn. And I was like, oh shit, that's going to be the next feud was Sami Zayn versus
that's what you thought?
Seth Rollins, yeah. And then
I
all
thought,
those people coming out, I was like, fuck.
You thought that? I was like, what? My thought. I love Sami Zayn, but my thought was like, what has Sami Zayn done to deserve to be out here asking like he's going to be in the title picture?
He teamed up with Neville to defeat the Dudley Boys at the kickoff on SummerSlam.
Okay.
That's true.
Really?
But I don't know. I got pumped. I was like, yeah.
Well, same thing with Enzo and Cass. I like that at least Jericho and Owens were like, what we beat those guys. Why are they here?
And then Kevin Owens like,
What is Enzo doing
Yeah, he goes,
here?
Enzo?
Enzo's not championship material. Come on. So yeah, all the guys
they're
making
trying to
their
pump up Cass. Hey, they trying to do that future split like sooner.
So yeah, all the guys coming out, put their names in the hat. So we're gonna have.
They wrote down their names, put it in there.
And you could tell they were doing this all on the fly. They were like, "Oh, we've got details on that coming up at the end of this matchup."
But I was like, really with Roman, I was like, oh, is it there? I guess they cut off Roman and Rusev shit.
Yeah.
Well, what I liked about this is that we always complain that like secondary titles seem meaningless, but he was in contention because he was a secondary title holder. He's a U.S. champ, so of course he's considered the championship material. But I like that they let him out Obviously, he can't actually be in the match as the U.S. champ. He's like in that division, quote unquote division. But the way they worked it is off of the injury, so it keeps him strong while still valuing him as a champion. So I liked how they booked that with him.
Yeah. So we had a series of matches to pick 4 winners who are going to go to Houston next week to determine who the new Universal Champion is.
I wish I had like the time to go because we get to see the second ever Universal Champion.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, wait, it's the pay-per-view, right? Or the Continental Raw.
They're having the Fatal 4-Way in Houston
That's
on
right.
Raw.
That's right.
I was like, well, damn it. I just sold my tickets. Oh, well. I'll get to watch it from the comfort of my living room, and I won't have to drive back. So it works out. So Seth Rollins going up against Sami Zayn. Winner advances to the Fatal 4-Way. We talked about the injury a little bit earlier. My God, that man can sell.
Yeah.
And the fact that, he was even like hobbling. Like, it's the small details of selling an injury where it's like, okay, in this particular move, I bounce off the ropes, run back, hop over the top rope. He takes like 2 steps. It's like, I can't make that, and just hops over the top rope. He sells that.
It also is good whenever he gets knocked down. He just sometimes just folds or whatever. He's good.
He does like the Family Guy like body contortion where he just like falls and his arms are like sticking out and everything.
Yeah, masterful selling.
Yeah. So Seth
Better
Rollins,
than Dolph Ziggler.
Okay, look, let's get this fucking straight. There's a difference between bumping and selling. People say selling and mean bumping all the time. Ziggler is not a particularly great seller. What people like about Ziggler is his bumping. Bumping is taking the move. Selling is conveying the pain induced by the move. So when people say Dolph Ziggler is a great seller, they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. He's a good. You like his bumping.
You like the way he flails around whenever he gets hit.
What Sami Zayn did is selling. So there's a difference.
Hey, check this out when you Irish whip me into the corner. Check this out.
So, but Seth Rollins gets the win. Kevin Owens going up against Neville. Jericho got his back to give him the win. We had a New Day, Gallows and Anderson promo. Nothing special from that, really.
I liked the Rainbow Cane thing. Singapore cane with their colors.
Oh, yeah.
That was cool.
Like, what?
The thing they were going to use to hit the pinata was a Singapore cane, but they had their colors wrapped around it.
I was picturing Kane coming out like in his rainbow suit. Yes.
Like he has a rainbow suit.
He does.
Oh.
Then we got to see Big E defeat Anderson. Nothing to go from there. How bad was that? I'm sorry, but the promo from Titus O'Neil, pretty bad.
I don't think content-wise it was bad. It was bad that he stumbled and couldn't recover. Like, the content of the promo wasn't that bad. His delivery was pretty bad in spots.
Yeah, and then it was, why is Bob Backlund coming out first? Then Bob Backlund should have never made it into the ring. Yeah. Like, once he came out, Darren Young should have come out and, whoa, I got this. And then he could have gotten his ass handed to him.
I got this.
Then Bob Backlund could have gotten in there and got his ass handed to him. There's no reason why a 70, however old he is.
He's fit as fuck for an old man, but still, like, the storytelling-wise, it doesn't make a lot of sense for him to get in there.
And for him to take that bump, like, damn. I don't know. I don't think the crowd...
If we could all be in that fucking shape when we were...
If I could be that shape now, damn.
Yeah, that's true.
But, yeah. The next qualification match, Big Cass defeats Rusev via countout, which we touched up on. Charlotte came out, cut her little promo, and I'm sorry, like, Charlotte's just not that good on the mic. Maybe over time she can get better.
I don't think of her as a good promo, but I don't think of her as a.
It's just like, I don't know. It's just her delivery is so over the top. It's just like, I'm the champion now. You all thought that I wouldn't win, but you're wrong.
That's it.
Because I'm the champ.
Do you think she's the worst promo in the company?
No, but well, I don't know.
I'm not defending her.
I don't know who the worst is because some of the people they just don't give a mic to.
Right, sure.
And probably for good reason.
I mean, it's hard to like not give a mic to like the champ, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't think of her as a good promo, but I guess she doesn't grate on me like she grates on you.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it's that throwback to the Bellas where they would over animate but not have the emphasis in it, where it's just like, I'm going to talk like this now, and you're gonna listen to me, okay?
You should talk like that the whole podcast.
That's right. You're listening to the WNS podcast. For all of your information,
How many
information.
How many times are they going to fake break up her and Dana Brooke?
No kidding. Then Mick Foley comes out. Hey, you fought them all except for our new free agent, which is a thing now. Because she's just coming from the NXT to the main roster. I'm not sure if there's a whole free agent thing going on. Whatever. Anyways, minor details.
Kayfabe is that they
What's
have
that?
a different contract.
If there's someone who knows
system?
anything about free agency, that would be Heath Slater.
Kayfabe.
Yeah. So I think Heath Slater's going to end up on SmackDown.
I mean, we saw the tag team thing on the Rhino.
Yeah, nothing showing up on Raw.
No.
In the past week or two, I think. Anyways.
Well, I guess he has to win the belts to stay on the SmackDown. So maybe he's not. Maybe he'll be through the tournament and then he'll be like, I don't know.
He's 769 again.
That's my thing.
But so maybe he's not actually. Who knows? Yeah,
Whatever.
he'll probably be on SmackDown.
So, anyways, Bayley is introduced to the Raw crowd.
Pretty good reaction.
Yeah. Very, very happy to see that kind of reaction from the crowd.
Dare we say I feel like she got a better reaction than Finn got when he debuted. I don't know if I don't know if that's the city that she debuted in type of thing.
Yeah, because Brooklyn, the crowd itself was very hot. A lot of the people were at NXT, so they're already familiar with Bayley.
Obviously, a good spot to debut her.
Absolutely. So it would be like doing it the day after WrestleMania. The crowd's already well aware of who's coming up. So great reaction for Bayley. Much deserved. Glad she's finally on the main roster. Only about a year after the other ladies came up, and
with Sasha being out for however long she's going to be out.
Sasha's out for a month. Paige is out for a month.
I mean, less Paige and more Sasha is that. I don't know. I could see like them putting the belt on like Bayley while she's gone, only for Sasha. I think that's a compelling story because they've played so much on how they haven't played on it on the main roster, but just how Sasha and Becky were at NXT ringside to like cheer her on.
Yeah.
And they play up the friendship. So if she was to win the title while Sasha was gone, I think that's a compelling story for them to come back, both wanting that title as friends. Also, I loved on the NXT how they had Charlotte separated from Becky and Sasha, and Bayley still went over there and hugged Charlotte, and people were like, "Boo!" And she was like, "I'm sorry." What do
I do? What am I supposed to do?
But I like how they had them separated and everything. It was cool.
Yeah. Bayley goes in a quick matchup, defeats Dana Brooke, so good for her. We find out that the Cruiserweights are going to debut on Raw September 19th, so something to look forward to there.
Tyler named them all earlier, right?
Yes.
Okay.
All 4 of them. Not 5.
Look, man, I'm tired. I don't know what's going on.
I totally understand.
I have no idea.
After that, we got to see Braun go up against Johnny Knockout.
I didn't see it.
You didn't see that part? They had a nice little interview with Johnny Knockout saying, "What are you doing? Why would you take this match against Braun Strowman?" And Johnny Knockout's response is, "I took this match because I like big, sweaty men." And that was it. Then the match happened. Johnny Knockout got his ass handed to him, and the end. So, hey, props to him.
I like that.
Did I miss anything from that match?
No.
I pretty much covered it all.
Happened.
Yeah, sweaty men. Sweaty men.
He likes big, sweaty men.
Sweaty
So
men.
that's why he's in that match.
Sweaty
not
men.
to win, not to get a WWE contract, just because he likes big, sweaty men.
Sweaty men.
Sweaty men. That's right.
Sweaty men.
Get a towel, because it's about to get dirty. After that, we got to see the Dudley Boys come out. deliver a farewell address to the crowd.
Which is just weird because that day they announced it earlier in the day through all social media stuff, which was weird because I was like, okay, is this going to be like
a turn, a split?
I thought it was going to be a turn. I was like, okay, they signed another year contract. I was like, what are they going to do?
Yeah, but it turns out that actually fell through. They did not. So
really?
This was legit. They're saying farewell to the WWE for now. Going to go elsewhere, do whatever.
They're going elsewhere. I thought they were done. I thought they're just going to go back and.
Maybe they are done.
They have the school and everything, so maybe they're going to train. But
as far as that, they're done.
I feel like the idea is they wanted to finish up their career in the WWE, which is like as good of a. I mean, where else do you want to go out at?
Right.
So.
And they did the right thing. They went out on their backs, gave the rub over to Gallows and Anderson for being the heel team.
Which it was a weird situation because the Shining Stars came out.
Yeah.
Well,
and that was for the crowd to get the tables and do all the shtick, the what's-ups.
It was like for Daniel said, for the crowd, for them to do the shtick one last time, but also is to amplify the heat that you didn't get to see them do the spot the last time because they interrupted the table thing. So that transfers the heat onto Guns and Gallows.
Yeah. So after that, the final matchup to determine who's going to be in the Fatal 4-Way next week. Roman Reigns going up against Jericho. Kevin Owens tried to have Jericho's back, but it didn't work out in his favor. Roman Reigns gets the win. And so now we know it's going to be Reigns, Cass, Owens, and Rollins. One of these 4 men will be the new Universal Champion.
I thought you were going to say one of these things is not like the other.
One of these things is not like the other. He's 7 foot tall and you can't teach that. Yeah.
Like in the back of my head, and I was like, oh no.
Who do y'all put the belt on? You're in charge. Who do y'all put the belt on?
Oh, if I'm in charge?
If I'm in charge,
Owens.
Owens, no doubt.
But somewhere in the back of my head, I'm thinking it's either Rollins or Reigns.
I feel like it has to go to a heel because they had the face. Now we got to have the heel. Or maybe they do pull the trigger on Reigns again. They give him another shot. I'm
thinking Reigns for some reason.
Yeah, I would say either Owens or Rollins.
No Cass.
I'm saying 52% Rollins to 48 Owens. So I'm split. How about you? Big Cass.
No, that wouldn't be my pick.
Right.
I'm not asking you guys for like official prediction. I'm just saying like, who do you think? Who would you like ideally put it on?
I think out of all the guys that came out that particular night for Raw, Owens got the biggest reaction out of everybody. That should be a sign. Hey, this is going to be our star. We're going to take a chance because if anything, if it doesn't work out, put the title on someone else.
Take a chance. Take a chance.
Take a chance on me.
I feel like it has to be Rollins or Owens. I don't see. Cass isn't a real pick. Like they're not gonna put it on him yet, and
he'll get the teaser.
Yeah.
Hopeful, he'll hit the big move.
How you doing?
Have the 1, 2, and then someone's either gonna pull the referee, they're gonna pull his leg, or they're gonna drop an elbow on it.
I think they're gonna put it on Rollins. I'd be shocked if they put it on Owens.
I would be shocked and pleasantly surprised.
No, I think it's a good move to put it on Owens, but I would be shocked if they did that.
Yeah. Because then it's like, okay, well, who's he going to go up against after that? Like, well, you have a good amount of faces that you could go up against.
Kind of be a little bummed that if they put it on him, they would play out the Jericho stuff, which I'm really enjoying. So,
what if Jericho helps him win? Because he's got his back. And then that could lead to, all right, I helped you out. Now it's my turn to have a championship match against you. And scratch my back, I pin yours, and take the title. Become the Universal Champion.
We're all dancing.
We're all dancing.
I don't know why we're dancing.
Because we're tired. We got to keep going. Because SmackDown happened as well. We saw a backstage segment. For some reason, Eric Rowan was talking to someone.
There was Baron Corbin.
That's who he was talking to.
Rowan.
Yeah.
There was Apollo Creed. And
Terry Crews.
Who else?
Dolph.
Apollo Creed and Terry Crews. They have a child.
That was like, who do we have here?
It's the new face that runs the place.
I fucking love
And the guy who lost.
I fucking love AJ wearing like the band that Cena wears around his arm, like as a headband. I hope he wears it like all the time. Like, so cool.
You know what I hate? I hate people that lose. And they start fighting.
You just take that back. I'm not a loser just because I didn't win.
Yeah, I mean, basically they established a reason for them to. They had a reason to have these guys fight to establish a number one contender.
Yes.
Ended up being AJ versus Dolph. If Dolph won, well, they already named AJ the number one contender. Yeah. If Dolph won, it would be a triple threat.
Correct.
AJ ends up beating Dolph. We're gonna get Dean versus AJ.
So where do you go from here with Dolph?
Somewhere. That's what we were talking about. Is that it felt like they made an honest effort to rehab him. But I couldn't see him winning the belt, and I don't know where he goes after you give him the rehab.
He goes all the way.
Maybe with Bray, although they're teasing the Orton stuff with Bray, so I bet Orton goes Bray.
He goes Bray.
He goes Bray.
No, yeah, he goes Bray.
I know the guy, Baron Corbin.
What?
It took me. I'm so tired. It took me like 30 seconds to process what you said, and I was like, "Oh yeah." They did just feud for like 6 months.
It's fresh, I tell you.
Yeah.
I guess some of the other big stuff is we announced the tournament for the tag titles.
Yes.
And we see those new belts. Mm-hmm. No one shit on them.
Nope. Because it's blue.
Yeah. We saw
we
the new.
don't like blue. No.
Shut your mouth. We love blue.
Also, we like blue. We like blue.
I'm blue.
Also, the SmackDown Women's title, which is
blue
because it's SmackDown. You know, like how the Universal title's on Raw, so it's red. Oh. But, yeah.
I hate blue. Fuck that shit.
Get out of here with that anti-blue.
And if Heath Slater could find a partner, he could be included in the tag tournament.
And they would find an opponent for him.
Right.
So it's like, hey, I know the 6 tag teams in the ring. You're the best of the best. But if Slater can find a tag partner, we're going to add another team on here for you guys.
Arn? He was talking to Arn?
Arn. I like how AJ interrupted, and on the way out, he's like, no, I'm not going to be your fucking partner. Slater was like, what's up?
Get away from me.
What's up? You want to be my partner?
He's like, no.
No, damn it. Get away.
I mean, it seems like a weird team, but I liked how it played out where you just see the hand put on him. He's like, and they touch back to the overground under.
Let's take care of that pool, man.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I liked it.
Let's get that pool.
You gonna really be my partner?
I'll be your partner.
I sort of like the idea of them as tag partners for some reason.
We also got to see Becky Lynch defeat Alexa Bliss.
I thought Alexa Bliss looked pretty good here. I thought this was a nice little match. Nice. I was impressed with Bliss. She's going to come along nicely.
The Usos versus the Ascension in tag team tournament style.
Oh, something that you guys said you didn't see the pre-show match that I should explain is it looks like the Usos are going to go heel because they were, and it's probably going to be against American Alpha.
Everyone turned on us because of Roman.
Well, they were getting booed, and on the pre-show, they blind tagged themselves in off of American Alpha hitting Grand Amplitude, and then got and there was like a tension between them because they just stole the pin, basically. So there was like some weird little yes, we won, but also, what the fuck did you do that for? So they're probably going to go heel. Although they didn't really indicate here that they were going heel. But they
that'll move them heel, and then you'll have Slater and Rhino be your face team, another face team. I wonder who the mystery team is.
I miss Slater Gator.
Slater Gator.
Kurt Hawkins and somebody? I don't know.
Lance Hoyt.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. Be interesting to see.
They've teamed in the past.
They have. Yeah. So it's the Usos defeating the Ascension. They set the main event for Styles and Ziggler, which we already talked about. What do you guys think about Carmella attacking Nikki before the bill?
Bullshit.
She didn't get over in Brooklyn, and her gimmick is that she's like a New York
Staten Island princess.
I know Staten Island is in Brooklyn, but still, if that was going to get over anywhere, it was going to get over there, and it didn't. Mm-hmm. So they might as well have turned her heel, which they did.
Yeah. And I felt it was fine because it was an unexpected heel turn.
She's not that good. She'll probably be able to more. I can't fucking talk. I'm so tired. To more easily develop as a heel than as a babyface.
Yeah.
God. Words. I can't do them.
What is words? How do you word? We got to see the Randy Orton explanation of the match, talking about the match, interrupted by Bray Wyatt.
No 60-day suspension unless by the time, unless I had some premonition, and then by the time this is out, he is suspended.
Oh my God.
What I would like to see is, because, on TV, they put it where, like, the lights go out and then it comes back on and he disappears like that. And then when you're in the crowd, like, oh, he's just fucking walking away.
That's right.
Yep. He didn't teleport.
He just ran away from the rocking chair.
Man, I thought he was going to teleport.
Then we got to see American Alpha go up against Breezango. I didn't get to catch this matchup, but I heard people saying good things about it.
It was fun.
Yeah.
I mean, clearly they're going to put the belts on American Alpha.
Yeah.
Who do you think is going to get the women's strap? Because I thought before she got suspended it was going to be Eva.
Becky.
Oh, yeah. I think it'd probably be Becky.
I'm going to say Nikki.
Interesting.
I'm going to say it was going to be Eva, but I'm going to say it's Nikki.
Mode.
No, that is over. Don't ever sing that again.
Something.
Hate you both. So let's say that Styles defeated Ziggler.
We did somewhere in there.
Yeah. So that closes out SmackDown.
Hate losers.
Brings it into Hot Topic.
Whoa. How are we not going to talk about this fucking Miz promo?
Okay. Well, that's in the Hot Topic.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, because it followed SmackDown. It was in Talking Smack. And Dana Bryan had some choice words for Miz, calling him a coward in the ring, saying whenever I was in my indie days, if I would have imagined the WWE style,
You call me a coward,
being soft, I would have imagined you and the way you wrestle. You wrestle like a coward. And holy shit, whether it was scripted or not, Miz woke the fuck up.
Well, here's the thing. Brian was, like, if you watch the whole the clipped version cuts out a couple of minutes and there's like a little more context to the situation, but Brian is clearly in character. He wasn't like, he was in character saying like, Miz asked why he hadn't been on the show. Brian's like, you were on, I don't like, basically what he's saying is Miz is a heel, so he wrestles like a coward, like he runs away. He wasn't saying like, it was in character. He wasn't being like, you're a shitty wrestler. He was saying like, you're a heel, you run away from your opponent. There was that. And then like Brian speaks so plainly and like so straightforward with him that it feels like I guess Miz felt like he's inside. You can see the difference in like where the switch goes off in Miz's head.
Yeah.
Like there's a point in the promo where Miz like, where he just like, his gasket
wait
gets
a
blown.
minute.
He goes like, what? You can just see where his demeanor changes in the promo.
Yeah.
And fucking 5 of those flame emojis, like Miz just goes off, and it was like, I mean, no shit. Obviously, the best promo he's ever cut. Money fucking promo for sure.
Yeah.
Man, it was. Did you see it, Tyler? It was fucking intense. Man, I don't even know what to say about it, but it was awesome.
The fact that he even cut off Renee, he's like, great show, love it, but we're having a moment right now. I've got something I got to say to you.
It's not just that he cut her off; it's the way in which he cut her off. Like
no, you've talked. It's my turn to talk, and I'm talking to him.
He did like aggressive but professional cut off. Like it was just like perfectly executed. And
damn,
I don't know. I mean, I assume the Brian walk off was a work, but I don't know. And who knows where the line, if the line was crossed, and if it.
Yeah, I mean, because Miz was trying to cut pretty deep. He was like, the whole, if you love this business so much, you'd get back in the ring. And the fact that Brian was like, if they would let me, I would love to get back in the ring.
Well,
and then he was like, well, then why don't you just quit and go back to the Indies and work in a gym or something?
Well, technically he can't because.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if you got a little sort of update on the Brian stuff is that he's been doing interviews recently, and he's sort of like, the way he's talking about it is that he's being forced to be a SmackDown. He doesn't want to be the general manager of SmackDown. He was forced because he's still under contract. The way he tells it, or the way he sounds, is that he was happy to do the Cruiserweight Classic because he likes the style. He sort of like likes the idea of getting these other guys in there, and he's happy to help these guys out, like get, bigger chances. But he doesn't want to do the SmackDown thing because it's still too fresh of a wound.
Yeah.
Still being that close makes him want to wrestle, and he doesn't want to be there, but he's still under contract, so they're forcing him to be there. And so when Miz says just quit, like he can't just quit and go somewhere else. They'll roll his contract over. It's like the whole Rey Mysterio thing when Rey was hurt, like he couldn't work because they kept rolling his contract over. So Brian can't, in kayfabe terms or in like real life, have like he can't have a comeback to Miz that doesn't just put all the business on Main Street, like on the fucking air. So, and I don't hold that against Miz because I think like Miz just took an opportunity, or he was just like tired of being like talked about in such a way. I don't hold it against Miz at all. But like the Brian stuff is like, I don't know if he was like really that upset when he walked off or that was all planned or what. So I don't know what to make of that. But I appreciate Miz.
It certainly blurred the lines of reality and script.
Yeah, it was. I mean, like I said, 5 of them flame emojis for the Miz. Like,
5 out of 5.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's never cut. I mean, the look on his you can see he was like, you know how like
his eyes were like starting to water.
He welled
so
up in
passionate
anger.
about
like,
it.
you know when you cry because you're mad, not because you're sad, like you well up in anger. He was like doing that.
Yeah.
And at the end, he's like, no, you put that fucking camera on me. Like, he's like, you zoom in on this shit. Yeah, man. I mean, you gotta.
And the fact that it was like, this title means something now. I'm making sure of that. Like,
I'm the most relevant champion on this show.
Yeah, no one cares about the tag match. No one cares about the women's or even the world championship. This is what it's all about.
I saw this like meme online where they're talking about the Austin telling Ambrose to take a chance and seize a moment, and then they have a picture of Dean in that big stupid cowboy hat.
Oh God, yeah.
And then like the split screen is like that close up of Miz where he's like fucking eyes are bugging out of his head. Like, being like he's the one who actually
he's the one taking a shot. Yeah. Taking it off the cuff.
Yeah, it was. I mean, a very interesting watch for sure. Like, I mean,
I'm curious as to what happened after the camera stopped rolling. Like,
also Renee Young was so fucking awesome because she's either a really good actress or was legit like, I don't know what the fuck is going on right now.
Yeah, she's like, okay, Daniel's walking away.
Yeah, this is not what the
Miz
show's
is
about.
on a tyrant.
Either she's really good actress or she was like really taken aback by what was going on.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Major props to Miz because whether it was scripted, whether it was from the heart,
took a shot.
Damn, that was nice. And
no, it that is not what is so awesome about that promo is it is not a scripted promo.
Yeah,
that is when you can tell when you let people speak how they speak from the heart, how they feel. The intention may have been like, you can talk about this if you want to talk about this, but that was not memorize these lines. Promo.
Right.
So
there were no bullet points to that.
That is the best fucking example of why they shouldn't script people's promos.
Yeah, and you could tell that he was passionate about it because he was being very repetitive.
Yeah.
And in a lot of arguments, you say one certain thing over and over and over again. He's like, I'm here day in and day out. I'm doing it. I'm here day in, day out.
Yeah.
But just the passion that he had for it, the intensity that he had. I mean, you look in his eyes and you're like, he's about ready to kill somebody. Like Maurice walked off. Like, she doesn't know what to think. Renee doesn't know what to think.
I thought Maurice did I'm proud of, like, she didn't say anything at all, but she had the look like, you go ahead on, babe. Like, she felt like real proud of him.
This is what you and I have been talking about in the car rides between shows for months and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But,
who knows?
Major props to him. So, crazy stuff. But now it's time to go into WWE 2K17. Mr. A. Bear, would you like the microphone to talk about some of the upcoming talents?
Sure.
All right. Let you take it away.
You have to speak into the mic. I'm just joking.
I've spoken to Doug's mic in passing.
Oh, okay.
And now I'm over here now.
As you could tell throughout the whole episode, I would make comments about this game. I'm so pumped about it.
I don't know why.
Funny. Yeah, I don't know why either.
Copy and paste the
I
last
think
year.
I counted so far. There's about like more than 10 new people in this game.
Woo!
Which I do not remember that something like that in the past, like this amount of new people.
Yeah.
It's really cool. I will make official count this week, and say which one's next week. Okay.
Unless they add more.
Yeah. And so this week will be Del Rio, Big Cass, Big Show, Bray Wyatt, Brock Lesnar, we already know that, Carmella, Chad Gable, Darren Young, Dash Wilder, Diamond Dallas Page, Earthquake, Enzo Amore, Goldberg, which we knew that too, Jason Jordan, JBL, Mark Henry, Paige, Razor Ramon, Ric Flair, Rusev, Sami Zayn, Samoa Joe, Sasha Banks, Scott Dawson, Sheamus, Miz, Titus O'Neil, Typhoon, and Zack Ryder.
Cool.
Which we are over the 100 mark right now.
Nice.
So they're not going to do 150. They said that. I don't know how many.
151.
Yeah.
In honor of Pokemon.
I don't know how many was in the last game. Because, we're going to have the DLC. But also they're missing a lot of people because I don't know if Austin Aries made it or if Mojo Rawley made it or Ty Dillinger, stuff like that. I need to go through and
That'll
see.
probably be like DLC for a later time, the NXT pack and stuff.
Yeah, NXT pack 2. I need to see. I need to put it all on
Johnny
one page,
Gargano,
then
Tommaso
go.
Ciampa.
I don't think they made it. I need to see who's on the main roster who didn't
Did you
make.
say Brock Lesnar?
Yes.
Oh, is it the hydroxychlorophene edition of Brock Lesnar?
Oh man, yes,
Nice.
That's the best kind.
yeah. So I'm just pumped. American Alpha and the Revival's in it, so that's really cool. But
You would fucking Mark.
I am a Mark. I'm
So to Mark?
like pumped for like all the new people, man. AJ Styles,
Shinsuke, Samoa
Shinsuke.
Joe.
Well, I mean, I'm pumped for Samoa Joe, even though he was in the last game. This will be a better version. Still pumped. Dude, man, I check back every day to see if they have new videos with gameplay because last week when they revealed like all the roster members for that week, they like added like that day like 3 different videos of gameplay. And I was like, oh, this
brawls.
week they didn't do anything. And I was like, oh man, upload more. So yeah, I'm pumped, and I know this whole month coming up is going to go by slowly.
We'll get there.
Damn it.
Together.
Want to hold my hand?
Maybe.
Okay.
So thank you very much for that, Tyler. Thanks for the update. Now it's time to go into the Q&A portion of the show. Your questions, our answers. Only question coming to us this week from James saying, who do you think will Brock put over? Or who's going to be the guy that finally defeats the Beast?
Nobody.
I don't think we have a good picture of who's the person to do it right now.
Yeah.
Obviously it's a raw guy.
I know Samoa Joe tossed his hat in there for wanting to face him at Mania.
That'd be cool. I would say maybe Balor would have been a candidate, but it seems like the timing would be off now because I don't know how much longer Lesnar's going to be with the company.
Mm-hmm.
Does he have another year on the contract? Is that what it is? Did he sign a 2-year deal?
I do not know.
I can't remember, but it seems like very up in the air as to who would be the person to get one over on him. But somebody has to before he leaves.
Mm-hmm.
Or why would they book this guy like this for like 2 years?
Joe or Owens?
I don't think it'll be Owens.
It'll be Shinsuke.
I don't think it'll be Shinsuke either, just because Shinsuke coming in on his own will be like a big deal.
Yeah.
So I think like
Shinsuke has defeated the Beast.
What do you
the
think
King
about
of Strong Style?
This does not pertain to that question. What do you think about like you see all these videos of Brock Lesnar, even with when he was at that 2K event that was this past week, and he didn't want to be there, and people were interviewing him, and like he was just he didn't give a fuck, and he was just like saying all the shit that he wanted. Even he was cursing and stuff like that. And just
you talk about that Sam
McGregor.
Roberts, like
there was another thing there was Sam Roberts and something else.
I take shit's bigger than that guy.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I did like the fact in that little interview, at least, he was like putting over the wrestling business. It was like, okay, I've been to the Octagon. I've been champion. How about you come to our ring and show us what you're made of? Like, that's a good way of putting over your product. Say, it's not as fake as you think. Why don't you come and test it?
I like when he was talking to Xavier, and he goes, I was told that you were going to give me some Bootios. And he was like,
Lesnar said that?
Yeah. And he goes, no, I don't have any. He goes, okay. And that's when they're like, well, we're not going to.
Very humorless like that.
Yeah,
I was told you were going to give me some.
They didn't have it. It's like, he goes, well, we're not going to continue with this interview until you get us some Bootios. And they turned their back on Xavier. And Xavier's like, he goes, yeah. Well, he told him to his face, like, well, we have an intern over there. He's pointing somewhere else. And he goes, they're going to get it for us. And he turns his back. He's like, I don't have any Bootios. And then you can see them cracking up. Paul and Brock Lesnar is like, okay, and Paul's like, okay, let's just continue with the interview. Come on.
That's great. All right. Do we have anything else to talk about this week?
Nope.
I'm going to say this really quickly. I won't get into great detail because I know you guys didn't see the show, but I think it would be of interest to some of our listeners. I only saw Evolve 66, not Evolve 67, just because I've been so busy. But Cody Rhodes' first match and not in a WWE ring. First independent performance against Zack Sabre Jr. I think he did okay. He's clearly got some work to do. He did a lot of selling, but I think he's going to be all right. He's going to have to make some adjustments to be more. He's going to have to make some offensive adjustments to be more appealing to what crowds of bigger independent companies expect from him. But if you were one of those people who thought Cody got a Raw deal, who thought he would be a bigger deal than he turned out to be or could still be, I would say that he definitely did a lot to sort of justify those people's opinions. I didn't think he looked awesome, but I thought he looked competent. And I know Evolve 67, he wrestled Hero, and if you can't have a good match with Chris Hero, you can't have a good match. So I assume that was a good match, but I would say he did beat Zack Sabre Jr. The match was fine, but the finish came out of nowhere, and it was after him doing a lot of selling, he got a submission win without much limb work, so it was like an abrupt finish. But I thought he did enough to show that he could hang with people on that talent level. So if you are one of those people who's like, I think Cody is worth more, I think he could do more, I think you would be, interested in seeing these shows. So,
worth checking out.
Yeah. But I just thought people would be interested in hearing about his first match on the Indies.
I did watch the Cruiserweight Classic last week. I don't recall the matches. I didn't type them up. So,
I can't
sorry
even
about
remember.
that.
Yeah, I can't even remember what the matches are at this point.
Yeah.
I saw them too.
But anyway, so that's going to do it for us this week. So if you have any questions for us, make sure to submit it on our Facebook page, WNS Podcast, or our YouTube channel, WNSvideo. Check us out on WrestlingNewsSource.com, WrestlingNewsSource.com on Facebook. Subscribe to our show on iTunes by searching Wrestling News Source Podcast. And congratulations again, WNS, for 10 years. A decade of stuff. Keep up the great work.
We're on Stitcher. You can follow us at WNS Podcast.
Beyond Pod and Player.fm as well.
Yeah, those two.
Yeah, you can follow the podcast on Twitter at WNS Podcast. Daniel's at WNS_Daniel, and Tyler's at Tyler_Aber.
There you go. For the podcast crew, I am Daniel Heron.
I'm here.
I'm Doug.
And we will catch you all next week.